Hello, people. You're all nutcases. I'm only kidding. Hope everybody's good. And who have we got in? All I can see is Moon and Andrea at the moment. Hope you've smashed the like button because it'd be very, very much appreciated. It is kind of a little bit warm, but I'm not too bothered. Hello, Dazzy. You all right, dude? Oh, I need a drink of water. Hope everybody's good. Hold on. It's lucky I like water, isn't it? Ugh. So, how is people enjoying the hot weather? Are they suffering, or are you managing to cool down somehow? Hello, Steve. If you want the link, then ask me and I'll send it to you, dude. But don't know what the bearded dragon's doing. I think she's pouting. But I will get into more things in a minute. I'm just waiting for people to come in, and like they do, I have invited people to come on if they want to come on. It's when they're ready. I don't even know if they're alive. So let's see. Blah, blah, blah. I tell you, this computer sometimes has a mind if it's bloody on. But I do have an out and about video again next week. I was going to put it on this week, and I thought, fudge it, forget it. Oh,
Oh, Christ. That's good, isn't it?
you're very blurry.
I had to reinstall my operating system last night.
Oh,
First,
yeah.
first time I run my stuff. So let me just sort that out by playing with some of these settings.
Okay, you do that. And I think John said he was going to come on. Whether he does, I don't know. I will send him a message. I sent you a message, and as if by magic, you appeared.
There's the focus.
Yeah, it's better. You're not so washed out now.
There's that. Put a bit of saturation on. It's not too bad.
Oh, better get my other phone. It's easier actually, because I always get some bugger sending me a message. I was like, no, I've got it on silent. I always do. The phone always stays on silent because it just, I don't know. If it's nobody important, I'll ignore the phone. That's what I do. And especially if it's an unknown number, it's like, no, don't want to know, because it's bloody annoying. It's like, no. And yeah, oh, fudge. I've seen in the news that Bonnie Tyler's passed away.
Sure.
Yeah. Hold on. I don't want my microphone basically up my nose, because it does my head in.
Poor bugger.
I know. She wasn't that old either. It's been all over Facebook. I only went on for a few minutes and I'm like, oh shit, not another person. So
Somebody's just decided to ring me. Can I hang on? I'll be back in a sec.
okay, you do that. Matt would be 20 hours. I'm only kidding. He'll be there when he's there. Simple as that. It's going to be even warmer tomorrow. So, yeah, that's it. I don't do sun tanning. So I'll just be sticking a bloody big layer of suntan cream on, because I'm sorry, it's all right having a little bit of a suntan, but too much, it's not good. And it dries your skin out and everything. You just look, it doesn't look nice. You just end up looking like a bloody leather bag.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. People do that. They come and like stalk you. It's like, hang on a minute. I don't know what.
Good point. Put my phone on
Silent.
silent. Speaking about stalky wanking shit stains.
Yeah. Yes, I know. But I'm not saying anything unless you've already said something. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Right, okay. I will say echo. Is this phone gonna play? Yeah, I'm waiting for all my stuff to come from America for what's it called? That Starlink. So I've just got to wait.
Starlink.
Yeah, because I've had enough for it. This internet is shit. It is really, really shit. So I thought, you know what? I'm not having it anymore. I want better internet. What's the point? You have all this internet and it doesn't do bugger all, and the kids are all going to be off. So that's just going to hit the. It's going to hit it even harder. So I thought, nope. Oh, he's got no camera.
What, me?
No, not you. We can see. I can see you. Oh, he's here.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Partly naked. No,
I'm not. I've just got a vest on. I'm not naked.
he's partly naked.
YMCA. YMCA. Yeah.
So it has been a bit of a brutal week for some people. Unfortunately, it turned out to a friend of he is off the tarantula community, but he was one of them. He talked to anybody and everybody, and unfortunately, he passed away early hours of Sunday morning, and he was only 58, 59 years old, unfortunately, and it was of septus. So,
Sepsis. I've had that myself.
Yeah.
I only just scraped through it myself.
Yeah, exactly. It's not bloody good in the slightest because, 1 minute you see them, say month, and then you find out, oh, yeah, they're in hospital, they're not doing too well, and that's it, they've gone. It's like, oh, shit. So, yeah, a bit of a shock. So, yeah, I've got a GoFundMe, and I even said on my channel on Monday, even if people donate £1, it goes towards, because it's for his funeral, because obviously, bloody hell, it's too expensive to live and it's too expensive to frigging die. It really is. It doesn't matter how cheap you want to do it, how expensive you want to do it. It's just money, 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 and they just screw you over left, right, and centre. And is it after 100 years or something daft like that? They can actually use the same plot of land that you were buried on it. It's some stupid rule I've heard. And it's just like, really? You pay for that plot of land, and then you pay for getting buried, and so many things you've got to pay out. And then they can do that after 100 years. It's like, right, not good. So it is. It's frigging money all the time. So, yeah. These bloody smokers these days. And I can't say smoking stunts your growth, does it?
Definitely never did with me, so...
John, you should get yourself down to Cracky Corner. You'd fit right in, mate.
Oh, God. Don't tell them that. You don't have to fucking tell them to fuck off. Hang on a minute. You're drinking beer.
You can go running at people with GoPros going, oi, what are you filming me for?
Yeah, I sent you a thing about doing a new protest because they've got a bloody another HMO building somewhere down Chariton.
Yeah. Long Lane, right next door to a nursery. I haven't got a problem with HMOs, but the
sickos going to them places.
I'll just go through 18 months ago, just at the side of Asda in Chariton, they caught 2 people who've only been here 2 months trying to meet kids online. Plus, at the Victoria Hotel, they caught a guy in Stockport. He'd only been here 2 months trying to meet kids online. And they're pushing more migrants into HMOs. We just don't know who these people are. And about 8 months ago, they were kicking women, not men, just some women on a particular street. We're all outside with the kids. They bailed a guy, a migrant who'd come over on a boat. He got caught in Liverpool doing something. They bailed him to an address in Ashton. And, what do you expect people are going to do? And this were all women. There were no men involved in this protest. It was just all women on the street and the kids outside. And I think the police arrested 2 of the women. They've since been let go. But, we just want to know who's like here. And this is what's happening. And in Oldham, that's 3 people in Oldham in like a year period, and that's just one town. Obviously, someone were caught from somewhere in Merseyside. Now, how many other places in England have we got these people in, and they're trying to meet kids and stuff like? I just don't get it, me. And I'm not against HMOs, but they're not policed properly. There's more regulation. If you have under 5 in an HMO, you don't need planning permission, but over 5 you do. And then there's antisocial behaviour. There's cars parked. When I started running an election in 2021, I was in Hollingwood. Started talking to this neighbour, and she said, "Well, if you come back after 5 and look at the street when you come back after 5," and I come down in a car, we couldn't even get onto the street. There were that many cars parked. They were parked on the grass and that. And there's 2 HMOs, and we knew that one of them, there were 3 people in who had vehicles. It's just like no one gives a shit, until we put pressure on them. And now everyone, Jim McMahon's saying about the HMOs, he put more regulations on. A Labour council said to me, the council can't do nothing about HMOs in 2023, but they can, because they brought new regulations in to sort them out, which I knew they could do. And that's what I had a councillor talking to me like, you know what I mean, till I put him down. And I'm just sick of it, guys. I'm sick of it. It doesn't, and these HMOs, it's not, some people do have good HMOs, but a lot of them are not good people. They don't give a shit about the rubbish and stuff like that. And one thing I want the council to do is to say to the HMO owner that he's got to tell his tenants to use the bins, because they don't. Hollingwood, they don't. Bewley Street, the HMO that's 4 rooms there, they do not use the bins properly. And if someone's just come over here and they don't know how to use the council services, they just put rubbish in the street, and it's all over St Mary's, Higginshaw, it's all over Oldham, and I'm sick of it. And I want the council to tell the HMO owners that they've got to be responsible to tell their tenants to use the bins properly, or make sure there's bins in the HMOs. And I don't say this off a person who hasn't lived in an HMO. I lived in HMOs in Bradford. I've lived in an HMO in Mossley. I know what it's like. And we just want, like, the council to be fair with us and stuff like that. And the other night I was in town, and I ended up talking to someone, and this person claims that a load of Afghans have just been rehoused by First Choice Homes. So, Mark Muckerbex, your kid's
no,
not
it's Mark
getting
Urbex.
Yeah, Mark Bex, your son's not getting a property. Halloween, your son's not getting a property. Andrea, you can't find a property because they filled it up with Afghans. And I'm sick of it, guys. I really am. And
it just means people in this country are not a priority, but everybody else that comes into this country illegally are the priority, and we're just getting tossed aside.
What other evidence have I got? Well, in 2015 or 16, the Ashton Road area, they filled it up with a load of Eastern Europeans. And what the council had to do, they had to pay uni grads for a few weeks to go around house to house to show these people how to use council services. That's what Oldham Council had to do, because they've come into the country dead quick, got an house, and no one thinks about the consequences and how they react and how they work with council services. And a couple of years after that, there were a load of convictions for fly tipping in that particular area, because people were just throwing the rubbish in the street. And, it just never used to be like this in Oldham or anywhere else. And it's just like really ticking me box. But this HMO on Long Lane is right next door to a nursery. And I went down the other day, and I ended up staying on the street talking to the people who live on the street. That's what I like to do. So a bloke shouted at me from across the road when he seen me videoing. Then I went next door to him. There was a woman there with kids. Then I went a few doors down. There was another person. None of them wanted the HMO, and some of them were all right with it. But what they said is that, John, we don't know who's going to go in that HMO. And Holly Harrison, Labour councillor in Oldham at the South Chariton meeting. She said, well, how would you solve it? And I said, well, this is how I'd solve it. I'd put people from that area in the HMO. I said, your 18-year-old son needs his own place. There's no house for him because he can't afford it because it's so expensive. So we'll put your son in that HMO because he's less likely to smash up the area or be a drug dealer when you live 2 streets away. You know, and if my grandniece was in an HMO, then I'm guessing near me, she wouldn't be likely to be causing antisocial behavior because she knows I'd be around there throwing her out. You know what I mean? And so, but they don't. They end up putting people in who are not from the area, and then they cause a big issue with antisocial behavior. And you know, like, as campaigning in 2021 in Hollingwood, I was at my friend's house one night, and I come out, and the police with the police helicopter and all that, and they'd put 2 like alcoholic smackheads in an area of vulnerable people. And when I mean vulnerable people, next door there's 2 92-year-old twin sisters. At the opposite side of this house, there's a young woman with a baby. Behind this house, there's a 67-year-old woman who's frail, and they put these smackheads there. And then this woman said to the police, right in front of me, honest, right in front of me, she said, well, they keep knocking on my door and my window and asking for things. And he went, well, just ignore them. And I went, mate, how do you ignore someone banging on your window? How can you ignore that? And she's like an old woman. Don't you dare talk to her like that. Police officer, and I absolutely give it him on the spot. And his face went like grey. And when I went to the meeting a few weeks later and the councillors and the police were there, I said the name of the road. And the policeman's face went green. He went, oh, we're waiting for Great Places to deal with it. And I went, what? So these people have had a knife to someone's throat one week, hit someone over with a blunt instrument the next week, and you're waiting for the housing association. I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the lads off the estate. We're going to get a white van and we'll move them out ourselves. And you can't do that. And the Labour councillors, oh, you can't do that. And said, well, what are you going to do to stop me? What are you lot going to do to stop me? He's just said that he's waiting for housing association to deal with these unruly tenants who've had a knife to someone's throat one week and hit someone over the head with a blunt instrument the next week. I'm just going to get rid of them myself. And in the meeting, there were some of the housing girls, but the one from Great Places weren't there. The next day, 7 o'clock in the morning, I had an email off Great Places, 7 o'clock in the morning, guys. And then 2 days later, my sister phoned me up and she said, oh, such and such a body said they've moved them tenants. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know, if I have to say things like that, then I'm going to say things like that. They shouldn't be putting smackheads in an area full of vulnerable people. You know what I mean? I just pray that they never did anything else to the old people in that area. And if I find out that they've moved something like that and someone into an area of vulnerable people, I'm just going to get an army of lads, go down and trash that house and burn it down to the ground. I'll tell you, I will do it. And I'll throw the people out and take them up onto mowers. And, you know, I'm just sick of it. But, you know, they don't listen to us until we get angry. And I got angry in that meeting. I was banging my fist on the table. I don't have to prove anything. There was a leader of the community was in that meeting with me, and she's called Celia Glennon. She heard everything. If anyone knows her off Hollingwood, you just go and ask her. When she come out and said, I'm voting for you, the only person who does anything, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of the other candidates who are running a week, they won't speak up, or they're politically correct. They don't want to upset the minority communities. I stood up in the council meeting when that to do with CSE, when we had Andy Burnham up, and I shouted over the barriers. I said, "You're too scared to upset community. You're too scared to upset the minority communities in Oldham, meaning the Pakistani community or the Bangladeshi community or the Eastern European. They are the shithouses, most of our councillors and the people who they don't want to go down that line. Now, you know, I never rant on about like Islam or anything. I'm not interested in that. I just want people to to like serve the community. I don't care if you're black, Jewish, gay, bisexual, non-binary, Muslim, Bangladeshi, African. If you fail your community, I'm going to be on your case. Let me promise you that. I don't care what color you are, what ethnic minority, what gender you are. If you fail your community, you're going to get it. If you put men down in the council chamber, I'm going to have you. If you put men down in the council chamber, if you start shouting racist at other council members, I'm going to call you out, because that's why we have shit councils, because the standard of councillor we have is really low.
Because they're all shitbags, aren't they, though?
And I'm going to be really blunt. We've had 2 women councillors in the past 5 years, and we've had this child sexual exploitation. They failed Oldham. I don't want a woman in charge of Oldham Council. I want a bloke in charge. Someone who's got
the last one was a muppet.
And who's not going to start saying anti-men things. That's who I want in charge at council. We've got a big council meeting next week. If the council don't pick a leader, they're going to force it that Arut Shah becomes council leader again. And she's not.
No, she's a muppet.
She's not going to last.
That woman.
She's out next year. She's 100%. She's going to lose her seat next year. I've done a video on it. You can watch it on my Facebook. But you know, like, the standard of councillor we have in this country is so low. It's so low. We've got people on the council who can't even speak English properly. Sorry, you know, like, and you know, like, I live on St Mary's, if people know Oldham, so St Mary's and Higginshaw Village. You don't see any councillor going to them areas. And the Pakistani councillor, Sunny Shah, from the Oldham group, he never come over here. Nobody comes over these sides. No Labour councillor, no independent councillor. Nobody comes to these areas. It's a shithole as well. I'm sick of reporting rubbish. And, you know, when I get in that, if I was council leader, every single councillor, all the 59 councillors would be up for chop. And I'm having re-elected. And I call for more elections in Oldham, because they're a waste of time, whether you Reform, Oldham Group, Labour, Conservative, Lib Dem. You just a shower of shite, you lot. You couldn't run. The youth council, I said last week that the youth council should be running Oldham Council, because they've got a leader, a deputy leader, a sportsman, a chairman. We can't even sort that out with our own council now. They haven't got a council leader. It's 3 months after the election. And, you know, like the Reform, like, oh, I'm not working with that group. I'm not working with that group. Honestly, bang your heads together, guys. That's what I'd do. I'd knocking them on the floor, and you'd soon be working together. Just this fucking. Oh, sorry for that. And
they are fucking annoying. The thing is, they've stopped a lot of services where they used to come and take your rubbish away for free. Like, you know, with the bulky bobs and stuff like that. They'd come and take it away, and anything that could recycle or refurbish, they'll do it. Now you've got to pay an awful lot of money to get that done. So what happens now is a lot of people dump the rubbish, because if you haven't got a car, you cannot take your stuff to the tip. Well, it's stupid.
We never had this issue because we had money in Oldham, you know what I mean? But we don't now. There's 3 areas in Oldham that are in the top 10 of the most impoverished and not working areas in the country. 3 areas. And let me just say, they're not dominated by white people. I'm just be bluntly, factually fact with you. And I've done videos on this. I've showed the statistics. I've showed the demographic in the area. And, you know, like, no one says anything. No one does anything. You know what I mean? And with this child sexual exploitation scandal, they had Daddy Shabir Ahmed worked for Oldham Council for 18 years. And the 3 years he was under investigation for child sexual exploitation, he's working on child services in Oldham, taxiing kids. And he was a high-ranking figure in the Pakistani community in Rochdale. What? So our Pakistani community up here didn't know who he was? The fucking shower of shites he are, honestly, shower of shites. And, you know, I don't hold back in calling them, whether you're Muslim, white, LG, I'll give it you. You know what I mean? And no one can say, oh, you're a racist. I'm not racist. The people who
They
get it
just
more
throw
are
that
white
word
people.
around so bloody easily, and it's not, that's the only thing they come back with. They have to come back with something like that to say, "Oh no, you're racist," or you're thingy phobic, or something, and it's just like, really,
they lie about
people
it.
will not have a proper debate. They have to start doing a slinging match, and it's just like, really, how old are you? 5?
Yeah, and like a couple of years ago, we had a Pakistani Labour councillor in the council, and he was calling the Tory councillors in Oldham racist because of what happened with Boris Johnson in London. What's that got to do with the councillors, the Tory councillors in Oldham? And that's what it was like in the chamber. And that Arut Shah as well. That Arut Shah, she's anti-men. She's anti-men. She went, gentleman's agreement. That gentlemen shouldn't be making agreements. She's thick as 2 short planks.
Yes,
she doesn't understand our culture and history, and she just needs deporting ASAP, that woman. Honestly,
she is thick.
I would kick her out of the country. If I was Prime Minister, I'd get the boot and I'd fucking kick her right out of the country. You know what I mean? And let me tell you about Daddy Shabir Ahmed. So the Rochdale 9, we always hear Rochdale 9. There wasn't 9 people. There's been over 60 people in Rochdale convicted of child sexual exploitation offences linked to the same time, all around the same gang, but they split it up because they got 9 at the beginning. So it's over 60. So don't listen to the newspapers. Now, the amount of girls in the paper that they'll set that these 9 people think, it was like 3 girls. We've identified, PAG UK Billy's identified like 300 at least girls just in Rochdale who've been abused. The Oldham CSE report was based on 11 girls. And then a Sky News investigative reporter came to Oldham. She got details off me and a load of other activists, and she come out with a number of 500 in Oldham. Not 11, 500. And that Rochdale 9, they've had nearly £2 million to fight the deportation. And, they can't change the rules. But for England playing at 1 o'clock in the morning, soon click the fingers and change the government rules there, didn't they? Click like that, you can all stay up, pubs can stay open. Well, why can't they do that with these groomers? And Pakistan aren't taking them back. Well, what I'd do, I'd stop giving Pakistan aid. I'd cut all relations with them. I'd kick anyone out who's not a British citizen, who's Pakistan, so you're not having no more people in until you start taking your wrong-uns back. You know what I mean? And, we're just so soft. The UK is so soft. If like any country says anything, oh, you UK racist, oh, no, we're not. Here, we'll take all your people. We'll take them all. And I don't know if you know now, so care workers, we had, let's say there's 9 care workers come from Africa. They brought 150 independents with them. It's in the news, this, guys. It's research it and look at it in the news. Just so ridiculous. You know what I mean? What they need to do is make me Prime Minister of England, and I can guarantee in less than 2 years, I'll have the country going on track. You know what I mean? We'd have deportation flights every day. Anybody who's not a British citizen, you're out. Asylum seeker, refugee, you're out. You're not coming in. And a bar, the boat's coming over. All we have to do is exit the 1951 Refugee Convention. Then boats have stopped coming in 2 weeks because they'd realised that they pay $5,000 and you just get put back to France. And like the Australians did it, what they did, they just got the boats and towed them to an island and left them there and went. And that's what they did. They didn't accept them in and process them. And then people just stopped coming over to Australia on boats. It's as simple as that, guys. But no, political correctness, the colour of someone's skin or the religion or race gives you free pass to get into England. Fuck off, honestly. I'm not having it. And that Daddy Shabir Ahmed, so out of the Rochdale 9, the 3 who fought deportation, all them Rochdale 9 are all out of jail now. The last one was Daddy Shabir Ahmed. The ones who lived in Rochdale just went back to Rochdale. They never got told they had to go somewhere else. They went back to Rochdale, and then one of them's the delivery guy, knocks on the door to deliver one night, and it's a victim who he abused who opens the door. Honestly, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And I don't know if you've seen the scenes in Scotland. They bailed
Yes.
2 people to an address, and all the estate kicked off, and they had to have 30 policemen. Now everyone's coming online. There's people coming online. Oh, it's wrong. No, it isn't wrong. They shouldn't
People
put
are sick of it. They don't want it in their community. Simple as that.
And 20 years ago, 25 years ago, that wouldn't have happened in Oldham because the community had kicked off and the police would have had to move them. But now you can't. You can't do anything. If you do anything against them, you're a racist or you're a this or. I fucking hate them words. You won't hear me shouting that at anybody anyway. I just don't believe it. And like the word racist has killed Henry Novak. I told you this before.
Yeah, I know.
What killed him was that word racist, and the police.
Yeah,
going,
that's it. They could throw that into the works.
Minority, I better look after him. And that Digwa, his mum has not even gone to jail, and his brother's not gone to jail. It's only him gone to jail. His brother phoned up the police saying that this lad had been racist against him, and he hadn't done nothing of the sort. And them two haven't got that family need deporting. And there's videos now coming out of that Digba pulling knives out before that incident and threatening people. Why do we still have these scumbags in our country? I just don't get it. I want them all deporting. I really do. It winds me up when every time this Daddy Shabir Ahmed's in jail, and me and other people have been fighting, been trying to get people to realise about him. I've talked about him hundreds of times in the years. Then all of a sudden, now he's being released. All the MPs, oh no, we should change the fuck off. You could have done that before he got released and kicked the cunt out of the country. It's simple as that. You know what I mean? And we're just so weak. And the people who lead us are so politically correct and woke. It's just unbelievable. We need strong men in. That's what we do. We need strong men in. And some strong women. I'm not saying all women can't be leaders, but statistically in Oldham, women have failed. And I want a man leading Oldham Council now. I don't want women.
Because there's been an anti-man woman, a woman that's believed anti-men. It shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be taking fucking sides. It should be everybody the same, except for only the ones in this country and not ones that are taking the piss out of this country. Because that's what they're doing.
It just
I think it's done by design, John, to be honest.
Yeah,
because
it
is.
I think they want these sexual predators, in to bring them in. They want to bring them in, and there's this, like in the States, Biden was doing it. They were bringing in illegal immigrants and putting them in areas where their votes were bad, to bring up the votes, because of course they brought them in, so they'll vote for the person, the leader who brought them in, allowed them to stay.
Yeah.
And I think you've got the same sort of thing in this country. It's kind of like they think, well, all of these will be left leaning, they'll left vote. And we'll put them in places where we can just overpopulate it with sort of like left votes. And I got to say as well, I've said it on my channel, I've said it many times, the leadership of this country are sexual deviants, and right to the very top. And I think they think to themselves, if we kind of fill this country up with these pedos, it'll become eventually just accepted.
Yeah. I agree there. I agree. I've studied hundreds of court cases, and I've been to dozens of court cases as well. And, I'm not, it's obvious it's not always the immigrant who commits a crime. The Nottinghamshire case that we're on, I ended up talking with a guy off UK column, Brian Garish.
Brian Garish, yeah, I know him.
And about the Nottinghamshire case into the homes there where kids were abused and that. It's nothing to do with people of colour. It was 99% white people who did this, but they were supposed to be trafficked to like big people in government and stuff like that. And there's a woman called there's a couple of women, Carol Summit or other, and what's the other one called? Mel Summit or other. And these two women were like kids who got abused, and they tried to speak out. And the way they've been silenced and stuff like that. And obviously, in because of this Rochdale thing, I don't know if people know my mate. It's called Billy Howarth, and he would have been all over the news doing interviews. PAG UK, he gets called out and all that lot. But PAG UK was first set up to support Cyril Smith victims in Rochdale, which is a real thing. Cyril Smith really did abuse young boys from Oldham, Rochdale, Harewood, or around that.
Come on here, you numpty.
And the woman who set it up was called Linda, and she never trusted charities. So if she seen that kids were in dire need somewhere in the world, she'd book a flight, pay for extra suitcases, fill them all up with kids' stuff, then go and give them to us personally. She won't give any charity. She'd do it herself. And then obviously we had the Rochdale grooming gang. So Billy talks about this, and you know, interacting with Billy, I've edited some of his footage when he's gone out to catch these pedo capture. I've edited some of his footage, so I know. And it works like that. And because like it shifted a little bit to like Pakistan, he gets called racist, and he's the most unracist person you've ever met in your life. He just like protects kids, you know what I mean? And he was a victim of the Cyril Smith days, No View Home, you know, himself. And, you know, the way he gets put down and stuff like that, it just really ticks me box. And I mean, it's very unlikely I want to be a counsellor now, so I'm not going to. But if I was just still an activist, there'd be loads of broken noses after I finish with people who said nasty things, you know what I mean? And just being an activist and going to court, that like the lefties, they lie about me. And on Twitter one day, all of a sudden it lit up that John Lawrence is a predator and has raped someone. It was a white guy who was 20 years younger than me. You know what I mean? Honestly, this is what the left do. This is what they do. They'll lie to say that you're something that you're not. And I'm not nothing like that. I haven't raped any women or anything. But the article they put up, it didn't have a picture. The guy was called John Lawrence. He was from Liverpool. And but when you researched it, it was a white guy who was 20 years younger than me. You know what I mean? I'm an open book, me. You can see how old I am. You just look at my Facebook. I don't hide my address. Everything's there for everyone to look at. But this is the kind of thing that they do to you when you become an activist. And, you know, like, I'm not lying when I say that some court cases, guns have been held to these girls' heads and they've had guns in their mouth like that and stuff while they're being raped. How do I know? Because I was in the court case writing the notes down that they were telling in the public gallery. That's what I've done. I've got let me just find my little book. Oh, it's here. See ya. There's hundreds of notes in that book to do with court cases that I've been to where they've threatened people with guns. They've gone round to people's houses and said, we'll kill all your family. I've got notes there of men who've been arrested when they've gone to try pick up the kids and stuff like that. They've been dragged through courts for 3 or 4 years and ended up getting charges and stuff like that. And the perpetrators have just been let loose. It's all in my book and here. You know what I mean? And I've been to these court cases. I've filmed them. There's hundreds of videos on my YouTube where I'm at court and I've got sent people in to write down the notes and that. And you don't, the media won't tell you everything like that. And to buy a transcript for a 3-day court case will cost you thousands of pounds unless you're a member of the public and you can go in and write notes. And that's what I do. And I've done it at dozens of court cases, and I've studied hundreds of court cases to do with everything across the country. It's just honestly, and you know, every time it comes in the media now, I'm dead anxious. I get a bit withdrawn. I get angry and all that. And I feel that's what these girls who have been abused, they go through this every time. All them girls now, Daddy Shabir Ahmed's coming out, and you know, like I talked to a girl. She phoned me up. She won't come out of her house. Her mum and dad can't get her to go out of her house. She won't go to university. She won't go to a job or anything because this Daddy Shabir Ahmed's been like released. So she's fucked up now, and she's in her house and she won't go out. She's crying all the time. So what they're telling me, and I just, it just sickens me. You know what I mean? And we just don't do enough for him. We don't do enough. And then all of a sudden, all these MPs, oh, yeah, he needs to be deported. Well, you could have sorted that out before he got released. You didn't have to wait for him to be released before you make a statement. And I've got about 5 or 6 MPs written down that when I do finally get to them, I'm going to fucking call them out for not doing exactly that. Just gets me really like, it just ticks me off, guys. Sorry. When you go to a court case and you hear what some of these people have done, and then like, I'm a strong person and I can just about handle it, but anybody else lesser than me would just be like, did maybe they want to get a knife and go kill someone? You know what I mean? That's what they want to do. But obviously, I'm a bit more than that. I'm 59. If I was 30 years old, I'd be on the streets of a balaclava ready to do someone over. I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean? I know myself. I know how I've grown up and all that. And that's how I would act if I was 30. And, you know, like, I don't know if you've seen where the Southampton thing, when they did the Henry Novak case, there was a veteran sat on the wall and they fucking pushed him off. This veteran can't walk properly. He's got a dodgy leg and he's had a couple of operations on his hip. Pushing him over. And you see the copper like that with his shield bashing him like that. Not defending. The copper's not defending himself. He's bashing him like that. Honestly, if I could get hold of that policeman now, it'd be on the moors. It'd be on the moors. And
some people just need their fucking asses kicking, I tell you. They just need it. And this is what they don't understand, why people keep rebelling against them. But when things like this happen, that's the reason why. People are just sick of it now.
But I've said for a long time that if these things had been dealt with in the first place, where the police were afraid to do anything because they're going to get called racist, we won't have this situation now, guys. We just won't have this, won't be in this mess of a situation. But our government are politically correct and woke, and you know, like, they don't see it like that, you know. And, you know, like, you get that Zach Polanski coming out. There's no evidence that asylum seekers have committed crimes. There's all.
Oh, right. Okay. What fucking planet is he on?
You only have to search. You only have to search the newspapers, and you'll find hundreds and hundreds of articles about asylum seekers or refugees or whatever committing crimes. You know what I mean? Or raping people or killing people and stuff like that.
I think the official statistics, because I just looked it up, there's approximately 18% of the prison population is Muslim, and there's only 6% of Muslims in the UK population total. So there are, you know, considered to be a higher disproportionate amount than the general population. So there seems to be a problem there, and percentage of people in prison who are immigrants is 13%. That's 1 in 8 in prison is an immigrant, you know, an illegal immigrant. So 1 in 8, and that's a lot. You know, these are quite high figures when you think about it.
But you could say that to Zach Polanski, and he'd call you a bigot and a racist, even though it's government figures. You know, this is
all official. You can Google it.
We can't win against left who are like, that's why we have to call them out. That's why you have to go to these meetings and stuff like that. So let me tell you about something, right? So I've got a mate called Nick Wilson, yeah? And so I bumped into Nick a couple of years ago. And what it was, 2008, when the Rochdale grooming thing came to light, Nick was walking home in Rochdale, was a normal lad. He got jumped by a load of Pakistani youths, nearly kicked to death. The police never investigated his case. So because they never registered it, he never got any support. He's got brain damage, severe physical damage, severe mental health damage, and he was a normal lad before this. He ended up doing his own investigation, going to the ambulance service who got the number for the police officer who was supposed to investigate and report his case, then got a crime number in like 2020 to do with his case in 2008. And we went seeing Paul Wodge, who's the MP to do with Nick and to do with his health. We went on and there was with this Paul, with this MP in Rochdale, next to him was a Pakistani councillor. I can't remember his name. And then at the end, when we sorted out about his health, that's what we was there for, his health. I said, so do you know the story of Nick? I said to Paul, no. So Nick told him. And I said, listen, mate, what we're going to do, the police aren't doing a job. We're going to investigate it ourselves. So I'll be knocking on the doors on the street where Nick, got attacked, trying to get some more information. And we're after the police about this. You know what I mean? And that Paul, his face and that the councillor who's his second in command, their faces, you should have seen their faces. And that's what we have to do. Now I've said this, if you don't sort these people out in HMOs, I'll go and knock on the door and sort them out myself, which will lead to confrontation, which could lead to a fight or something like that. It could do, but that's what I want to do. I want to go down that route because no one else is doing it. So and Nick's he's very open with his case. He's not going to tell me that I can't talk about it because I've got all the evidence, got all his paperwork. He puts it all out on social media, does it all himself. So he's very open about his case. But that's what happened to him because some dickhead copper wouldn't investigate because it meant dealing with Muslims or Pakistanis in Rochdale, and they wanted to keep it quiet because they didn't want to upset racial tensions. And you know what else I can prove that by? A reporter came up to do investigations on shisha shops in Oldham, and it found evidence that these shisha shops were having young girls in and stuff like that. And the email got sent up to Oldham said that he wouldn't put any posts out or do an article about it because Lee Rigby had just been killed and they didn't want to upset racial tensions in Oldham. There is an email from that reporter, real email. It's gone online loads, and I've got a copy of it. I've done videos on it, but that's what they said. Just need to these kind of people who are afraid to do something because they're afraid to become. We need to get these people out of our councils, guys. They need to come out of our government. They're not good. It's just going to end up like what Secret Vault says. It's going to end up like that if we don't do something now. So that's what I fight against. Just total hypocrisy of our government and stuff like that. Don't forget, guys, you've paid nearly £2 million to the Rochdale Three, Shabir Ahmed, Iqbal, and the other guy to stop them being deported because it was legal aid. So it's come out of your tax money, and that's nearly
I heard that. £2 million for them.
And it's still ongoing. It's still ongoing. Now, he's been released, Daddy Shabir Ahmed. Nobody knows where. Well,
except for him turning up at, like you said,
most
a victim's house. So it's not really good.
99.99999% of people don't know where he's been released to. And I say that because there is some people who know where he's been released to. And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying, well, he's not in Manchester, but it's just a big thing because what's going to happen is going to turn up somewhere. Someone's going to see him. They're going to attack him. Then that somebody's going to get sent down. Then he'll get a GoFundMe going and get 100 grand or something like the immigrants normally do who've killed people and stuff like that. And, but we're just not having it. We're not having it, guys. I'm not having it. And I've told Oldham Council, I've done emails to all the council leaders and all that I don't want any asylum seekers or refugees coming to Oldham. And anyone who's not got British citizenship needs to get out of Oldham. Now, if you look at Jim McMahon lately, he's gone like that. This is what he said in a post. Oldham's taking in too many, more than other people. And we have been doing for ages, but it's the first time he's said it. And he's only said that because of public pressure, like us doing that hotel demo, me talking to Labour councillors, Reform councillors, Lib Dem councillors, Tory councillors in Oldham, the Oldham group councillors. I've talked to the deputy of them and said, it's not good enough, guys. You need to, pull your fingers out, and do more. And when it was election time, I got contacted by a Muslim group called iNarrative, and so they'd invited all the representatives in Oldham to come to a meeting and give them 5 minutes, and they asked 5 questions, and it's probably the best. It's probably one of the best. I never recorded it, but they didn't put all my footage up, all my answers up, because I absolutely wiped them out with my answers. And one woman said, Muslim woman said, one of the questions was, why is it that Oldham's got one of the highest proportions of people being reported from the Muslim community to extreme thing or prevent? And I said, well, that's because you bring 8 preachers over. And she looked, what? And I had to get my phone out and show her that 2 8 preachers who'd been banned in Pakistan from speaking, right, and in all Muslim countries over there, they were brought over here and they were speaking in our mosques, guys. They were speaking in our
But not our mosque, it's their mosque,
speaking
isn't it?
in their own country. And they're over here speaking in our mosque. And I showed her. I said, that's why, because you have extreme people coming over. That's why that teacher in Batley had to move, because he had extreme people outside calling for his death and all that lot. They never got in trouble. If I'd have gone online and called for someone to be unalived, I'd soon be in trouble. But all them Muslims were outside that Batley school. He never did anything wrong, that teacher. And they was calling for him to be killed and stuff like that. None of them were
Oh, there was that old, what was it? Is it something to do with him drawing something to do with what's his fucking
so what he did, he showed the right way and the wrong way to portray Muhammad.
All right.
Sort of like that. And it was a drawing. And then some kids reported it to the dad. The dad reported it to a local extreme person who come up. He's been identified. You can easily search up this and the Batley school teacher. He's not even back at school now. He's disappeared. You can't find him anywhere because he's had to disappear because he was under death threat from the Islamicists or whatever. But we've let them all in. We've let all these extreme people in. Saudi Arabia don't have this trouble because there's no extreme Pakistanis there. They tell you this. They don't want them kind of extremists in the country. You know what I mean? Even though they are extreme themselves with some of the things they do. But, you know, it's just ridiculous, guys. I'm sorry I'm having a bit of a rant, but, like, Jack gets me on tonight, and I've been wound up for 2 weeks knowing that this Shabir Ahmed's getting out. Can you just imagine if I bumped into him somewhere? You know what I mean? I'm a very controlled person normally, but I don't think I could control myself if I bumped into this guy. I don't
think anybody will, to be honest.
Probably end up in prison, I tell you. And I'm not, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to, make things sound less. This is how I feel, guys. And you would feel like that if you had a book full of notes and some of the things in these notes, what they say, you'd probably feel like that as well. But, again, I don't say this from a point of just looking on social media. I've been to the court cases. I've talked to the victims. I've talked to the dads. I've talked to the mums. I've talked to the friends of the girls who've been abused. I've talked to the survivors. I've talked to all these people. And I know this is all the information. It's all racked up in my head. Most people don't know this, so they're not as, they won't be as wound up as me. But I know this, and it just winds me up every time it gets brought up. Child sexual exploitation, my anxiety goes up. And, it's been spotted a couple of times. People have said to me, "You all right, John?" I said, "No, I'm not all right, because this person's in the news again, and he should have been deported years ago." You know what I mean? It's just, we're so weak. We're so weak. But, the last video I did, I don't want a woman in charge of our council. That doesn't mean that women can't lead. Doesn't mean that. It's just that the past 5 years, we've had 2 women in, and under this child sexual exploitation scandal, they've absolutely failed. So I don't want a woman. I want a man in next. That's what I want, a man in charge of that council. I'll happily have a deputy leader who's a woman, but I do statistically, in 5 years, women have failed. And, Arut Shah, Amanda Chatterton have both failed. And that's in a 5-year period. So statistically, I want a man in now to see how that man does in the council. And that's it. But just winds me up, really does. And
I
and
was
you know, like,
watching.
but another thing nobody will talk about is drugs. Now, yes, lots of people sell heroin, but about
You want some?
2000
Don't you start, Matt.
about 2016, an article come in Oldham Chronicle, and it had like
Ooh.
18 people who've been done for heroin offences. Yeah, the one I think 4 of them had been imported it. They were all Muslims. Now there was some white people and a mixed race lad on the list, and I knew these people, and these people had never been abroad, so they didn't import anything. So out of the 18, and if I could get the article, Matt would understand. Out of the 18, the majority of them were Muslims, and when I showed people online and pointed it out, I get called all the names under the sun. Heroin isn't grown in anybody's attic. It's not grown in a white man's attic. White men do not go to Afghanistan and get drugs. The army and the CIA did. They were white, but the general white guy in Oldham does not. It's brought in by Pakistanis. A lot of them are in jail for it. And there was a drug gang jailed in Oldham. We're all Muslims. And the leader was in jail when he was still running the operation in jail. I mean, what's going on? And when they go in jail, they shouldn't be able to pray or anything. Should cut all the, you don't go to jail to be given special privileges. And special privileges is having the prayers 5 times a day. Fuck that, honestly. I just wouldn't let anybody pray. Whether you're a Christian, Muslim, you won't be praying in jail. You know what I mean? You'd be praying at night in bed. That's what you'd be doing to save your life. But I won't give you any time of your life to go and pray 5 times a day or anything. You know what I mean? And jails now, they have phones in the pads. They have TVs. It's just a joke. You know what I mean? And
I was watching something with Tommy Robinson earlier, and you were saying about all the things that he was seeing inside the jail and everything. And it's just like, I think it was on Heretics or something. I'm like, oh, that was today. I watched that, and I was just gobsmacked. Especially when apparently he said the terrorists, they all had their own kitchen and everything, and they were able to play pool, ping pong ball, and everything. And I'm like, but nobody else. He had gym. Apparently, he was going on gym equipment. Was Tommy Robinson, and the next minute they took it off him because they wanted to use it. He wasn't allowed to use it. It's like, really?
Well, Tommy Robinson got himself into solitary because he knew that there would be death attempts against him. So he got himself put in solitary straight away.
Yeah.
There's a channel on YouTube. I can't remember the name of it, but it's something like Israel Action or something like that. And this bloke who's Jewish, and he just goes on randomly. There's like these things on the internet, and he picks people on sort of like Muslim channels, and he'll just talk to them, and he'll say, did you know this, and what about this, and he just goes through points with them. But one of the things I found quite amazing was that when you hear these mosques abroad, they have megaphones on the side of them, and I've actually heard some of this in some places abroad, and these things, megaphones, are shouting out, and it sort of sounds like song, it's like, oh yeah, and all that. And you think to yourself, because you don't know what it is, you think to yourself, oh, well, it must be saying things like, oh, be good and God is great and look, pray to God and all that. No. Some of this stuff is literally saying things. Translation is, if you see a Jewish man on the road, cut his throat. And that's being sung out from the top of mosques and stuff like that, right? Let alone what they're actually doing inside, teaching children hate stuff. I mean, not all mosques, I dare say, but it's being brought in to the country to actually sort of instill hate and want people to go out attacking, because it's part of the culture is to kind of fight for your religion. It's not a case of like try and win people over to your religion. It's fight for your religion. you know, and this is the problem. This is why I think it's very incompatible with this country. But
I believe that. I believe that. But we've let the extreme ones in. The back in the days, the Pakistani families who lived, they weren't nothing like that, and they left Pakistan to get away from that crap. But what about that Egyptian guy who was allowed back to the UK? And you know, like it was dead political, Keir Starmer and all that. Then they apologised, and a few years ago, this guy was saying that all the West needs to be brought down, all white people need to be killed, and he's been welcomed back into the UK by members of Parliament. Who are these people who run our country? Are they
more like?
Are they all been like what did he call it? Hypnotized? You know, to think.
They're all brainwashed, aren't they?
We've also got some of the terrorists who did the Iran thing in the 80s that happened in London, where I forget what it was called now. The Iranian embassy siege in London in the 80s. We've got one of them living on benefits in UK. What's going on, guys? Why do we accept that from somebody who's got a different kind of passport? And, you know, like these people are coming over, and there's loads of evidence of this. They're going back to the places they come from for holidays and stuff like that. You know what I mean? What's going on? Why do we accept that going on? But you need to look into these care workers who are coming over, and let's just see if I can find it.
I mean, another thing that doesn't happen as well is like what are considered sort of Muslim schools. Well, a school should be regulated, and what they talk about should be regulated, you know, and sort of checked into. And yet, you know, they'll check into sort of mixed schools and sort of normal sort of population schools, but they won't check into these other schools. Because, you know, oh no, we can't sort of delve into that, and or it would be, you know, considered improper to do it. But I mean, by any standard, if anybody was to make death threats, you know, at any time, they would be called in by the authorities. You know, you would be arrested and charged with, you know, either you know. But these people from these communities are allowed to sort of say, like, death to the West, you know, death to whites. Well, hang on a minute. You literally can't do that. They should all be arrested for this. Yeah. And how do they get away with this?
In the news now, there's about care workers. I'm reading an article now at the Daily Express. Migrant care workers bring dozens of family members to UK despite new rules. Just 12 health and care visas were issued to workers from Cameroon last year, but a total of 180 visas were issued to family members from the same country in the year to March. Honestly, Google it up. Migrant and so, like, you know, like, what the hell? 12 people come, we give 180 visas out for the family members. It's just taking piss.
Yes, it is. And then they're just going to be screwing more of the system over, getting everything for free. Well, the people work their asses off, and everybody's getting bloody tax, and everything's going up, and nobody's seeing anything for it. It's paying for these.
Well, another thing that happens, they've been talking about this a little bit in the States, is where you get somebody who's pregnant will come to the UK to have the child, because if the child's born on the UK soil, then they're entitled to a UK passport, and that's the doorway in for some people. And apparently very popular with the Chinese.
Yeah,
are doing a lot of it.
Yeah,
you know. So I mean, people, you know, they should question, you know, if you're pregnant. Well, what you're going on a holiday and you're just about to give birth, you're at that term time, you know, of giving birth. Well, what are you going on holiday for then?
I thought there were meant to be rules when you're flying over anyway, that you're not meant to fly anyway when you're in a certain, you know, trimester or whatever the fuck they call it nowadays, you know, into your pregnancy, because there's chances are that you could end up giving birth, you know, in another country. So it's a bit bloody stupid. It just shows it's intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean, my solution, John, would be we need to turn the boats back. You know, we literally should have the Navy in some capacity in fast, high speed, you know, in fast boats. And when these boats start coming out, they just block them. They just go, no, you're not coming. We'll just put our boat in front of you. You ain't coming. That's it. You turn around, mate.
And people just stopped coming over. And with the guy, I listened to it. He was on a news channel the other week, and he said within 2 months, boats stopped coming because they knew they weren't going to get over. You know, but that's what we need to do. If we did that, then it'd be all right. But because of the 1951 Refugee Convention, and if you look into it, and I've studied this, our party is based on this convention. And so me and Pat did 3 months of really getting into it. So before that, it'd be a criminal offence. Everyone calls them illegals, but they're not illegals. I have to say this 100 times, but because of that convention, they just come over here, they rock up on our shores, whoever, then they can just claim asylum. We have to deal with them. We have to deal with them. And a lot of them, even though they might fail in their asylum, they still get leave to remain for so long. Does anyone remember when little Emily Jones was killed in Bolton by Altonia Scania? She arrived on a back of a lorry, claimed she was trafficked, which they found out was false, and she never got deported. She was still here, and she ended up killing Emily Jones. She had leave to remain for 3 years. She was already doing some psychotic things before that. And then she ended up killing little Emily Jones in that park in Birmingham when she shouldn't have even been here. The guy who killed the 3 at Nottingham, he was the same. He was a psycho. And they let him out of the mental hospital because he wanted to reduce the ethnic minority number. They wanted to be nice to the ethnic minority. They let him out, and he went and killed 3 people. And them families, you want to hear them families go on. They don't get any help off anyone. They're shut down and all that lot. And the first thing the police tell you when something like this happens, what they say to you is, don't start pointing your finger at the migrants. Don't start pointing your finger at religion. Don't start pointing your finger at these people on boats when we should be pointing our finger at these people on boats, because we don't know who they are. We don't know what they've done. There's people who've been kicked out of the country and have got back here 3 times. We've got some of the biggest people traffickers. One of them were caught in Oldham, living on benefits, but worth millions of pounds, caught in Oldham. And, you know, like when you read the thing, it doesn't say they took any of the stuff back off him. But if Matt was a drug dealer, they'd soon take all his house off him and all that lot. But they won't take it off these people traffickers. All happened in Oldham. Hollins Road, 7 people found in a basement, Eastern Europeans, modern day slavery. Never hear nothing about it. There's a modern day slavery thing. You'll see it going around in bus stations and stuff like that. But 7 people, Eastern Europeans, found in a basement on Hollins Road. You know, and like, what can we say?
There are some police officers out there who've been trying to investigate this in the past, and they've reported being shut down, you know, when they tried to do it. Like John Wedger is one good example. You know, catching girls involved in prostitution with these rape gangs and things like that, and trying to get them away from that situation, and being told, no, leave them alone by their superiors, you know, just don't get involved. And you know, why, if you're a vice squad officer like he is, you know, that's drugs and sex and gambling, I think it is, you know, like illegal gambling, illegal drugs, illegal sex. That's what vice is. But you're not allowed to do the sex bit. Not interested.
I know John Wedge. Well, I've never met him, but I know him a lot. Seen a lot of his stuff, and I know a lot of people who know him and stuff like that. But no, you're right. You know that, like, the police force. Gordon Brown was the one who turned round to all major police forces and said, "Stop recording ethnicity on child sexual exploitation." Then when the government did the report, and you always get the lefties coming on, "Oh, it's white men doing it. It's white men doing it." Well, it isn't if you look into the report, because the report tells you that more than a third of the cases, there's no ethnicity written down. It also tells you in the report that the police was told not to write down figures properly. This is what it all says in the report, but you get the lefty coming up, "Oh, it's white people, it's white people." Unfortunately, there's not many, like, there's a thing with paedophiles in England, is that white people are more on their own, small groups. They don't traffic kids cross county lines. They don't do that. They don't use Fred and Vera's flat above the chippy. They don't use a local taxi rank. And this, you get this through profiling. So if you look, Google up about profiling people and stuff like that, and like they don't work the same way that the Pakistani grooming gangs. And I'm sick of 21 people were caught in Birmingham, and then everyone's all like all the left. "Oh, biggest thing in, biggest one. It's not the biggest one. I've been to 2 court cases where there's over 50 people under investigation for child sexual exploitation, 100 crimes, and the one that was 49, 2 of them were white women who were bringing the kids to these guys, but the rest of them, the other 47, were all Pakistanis. You know what I mean? And you know, like, that's what I get all the time, and I have to pull up videos or do a video to show that it's just not like that. And obviously, with going to court cases, I did actually come across 2 white rape gangs who worked similar to how the Pakistanis do, but just 2 cases out of the 100 odd cases that I've looked into, just 2 cases of a group of white men who've done similar to what the Pakistanis do. It's just not the way that white paedophiles work. They don't work like that. And the other thing to do with the rape gangs is that they knew that the police wouldn't arrest them because they were afraid to be called racist. When Daddy Shabir Ahmed was in court, all he kept saying was that the police are racist, everyone's racist against him. Yet there was overwhelming evidence that he did these crimes. It's not like they didn't just like jail him because he had a little bit of evidence. They had a massive book full of evidence against this guy. And that's what he was saying in court to the people. And I investigated another case where 3 Somali lads got done for abusing a girl at the Victoria in central Manchester. And there was DNA evidence, CCTV evidence, and several witnesses, including the victim, as evidence. Then when they went to court, it was just the victim's mum and dad, and they were hounded in court by these Somalis. They did a big protest outside saying everyone were racist, but it was overwhelming evidence, guys. That's how powerful that word is. And that word racist killed Henry Novak. Nothing to do with Indian knife or Hindus. The word racist killed him. That's what it did. Nothing else. Nothing else. An Indian guy killed him. It was the word racist that killed him. Because his brother had gone on for him. "Oh, he's been racist and racially abused us." Then the police have flown out, and while he's saying he can't breathe and he's bleeding, they handcuffed him on floor. You know, and I just don't know what to say. I just speechless on that particular case. And I know what the police are like. They would have gone to Henry,
aren't they?
They'd gone to Henry's parents, said, "Look, don't start bringing up race or religion or anything." That's what they would have said to him. And I know that's what they said to the people who were locked up in Southport. And yeah, I'm not saying that they were all innocent. Some of them were violent, horrible people. But, you know, if you're going to... What I said to the councillors and the police in Oldham is, if you be straight with us, that's good. But if you're not going to be straight with us, we're going to have another Southport because something's going to happen. You're not going to say something. It's going to come out that you should have said something. And that's what in Southport, that's what the police, when they did the inquiry, it was the police's fault for not being honest and truthful straight away. That's why everyone kicked off. And that's what the police investigation, the IOPC said about Southport. And then all them people who were arrested for kicking off and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then there was Liverpool, Knowsley. There was a big issue in Knowsley at a hotel. So young girls recorded a migrant who's only just come over here on a boat trying to chat her up in the street. And she's saying to him, look, I'm 14. You can't talk to me like that. You can't ask for my number or anything like that. And then you went online, everyone was saying we're at bullshit. But then all the parents in that area were coming on saying, no, it's not bullshit because the school has messaged us about the incident and told to keep it. And this is what we're faced with, these kind of people coming over thinking. And they come over and they wouldn't do that, but they see it's so easy to get in the system and to chat girls up online because, like, there's no consequences in England. You know what I mean? They don't get their hands chopped off like in Pakistan. They don't get castrated like they do in other countries. They just know it's easy here. They know that they'll probably get bail and get let out. And you've heard that now they're taking juries out of court cases. Now, has anyone thought why they're doing that? Because the court system is so clogged up. And when I talked to you earlier on about them 49 people who got done for grooming, every single one of them went not guilty and they all got bail. No one got locked up. You know, what the hell? They can't lock them up because there's no room in jails. And they're now going to start releasing predators and sexual predators out into before the time's up to lower the amount of people in jail. So it's just going to, and it's white predators as well. It's just going to go more and more, and everyone's going to be in uproar. Then we'll all kick off. Then the government will bring in martial law. Then we'll all be locked up. Then they'll bring in 15-minute cities, and they'll bring in more digital ID. People just don't know what kind of road we're on. We're on that road. We're on that road, guys. It's going to come to that if we don't do something now. We don't sort our councils out.
True.
Not
I've
saying
got to do
reform
something.
are the
I'll be back in a
answer.
bit.
Okay.
There are means to an end. Reform. That's what there are means to an end. It's Pride Day.
No, don't go on about pride.
Pride Day on Saturday, and I went past the church today, and he's still got the St. George cross up. But that guy normally, the vicar normally regularly puts the LGBT flag up. Now, I have an issue with it because that you'd never see that LGBT flag on a mosque, and we're
No, you wouldn't.
inclusive in
And
Britain.
they're disillusioned as well because they
Never.
all stick up for them and they don't realise they'll be the first ones throwing off buildings.
You'll never see an LGBT flag on the mosque. And what we've had an issue in Oldham over the past few years, and I've been to the LGBT things in Oldham. I took my mum to the last one when she were alive. My mum was dressed up in Union Jack stuff, and I know the lefties hate that. And I was dressed up with my flares and my afro and my poppy shirt on. and I went up, filming, and two Muslim teenagers were going past. Now, my camera never picked it up, but some of the words they were saying when they went past was just like, I can't repeat what they were saying. It was that nasty. And, you know, like, everyone in Oldham thinks everyone's all right. Arut Shah got, someone wrote a question into the council to Arut Shah about the LGBT community. And that why doesn't she, like, support them and come out and support them? She had done a couple of times, but it's not a thing that they do. Then her deputy, whatever his name were at the time, he's lost his seat. Oh, it's racist. You can't talk to us like that. I'm a Christian, and I don't do the LGBT thing. I'm not against them violently. You can do what you want, but I don't want you telling me that I have to affirm that you're a woman when you're a man. I'm never going to do it. Let me tell you about a little story. So I went to Ireland in 2023 on the July celebrations this month that they have, the Orange Order March, and my flight was at 7 o'clock, so I booked a taxi at 5 o'clock, got in taxi, and when I've looked at my phone, they cancelled my flight, and so I had a quick check. The next flight was like 12 o'clock, so I got to the Manchester airport, then I got on the tram, got off at Wythenshawe, and went and had a breakfast. And I went in this cafe, and there was a man who thinks he's a woman there. And now I had a couple of hours to rebook the flight, so I just wanted to sit down and rebook the flight. So I seen the woman, not the man woman. I seen the shop owner. I asked for a full breakfast, 3 slices of toast and a cup of coffee, and I just sat down. And I had my jacket on, but I had my rosette on, my National Housing Party rosette, and you could see half of it. And I'm looking in my phone, trying to sort the redo my flight. The man woman come over and like moved my jacket to see, just come over, never asked me, just walked up to me, and I didn't see him because I was looking in my phone, and moved my jacket. I went, "Yeah, pal, what are you doing?" And when I said pal, he started flipping. "I'm not a pal, I'm not a pal, I'm a woman." And I, "Listen, mate, if you don't sit down, you'll be a man going to jail because I'll break your nose." And the woman's servings come out, and I said, "Look, love, I've missed my flight and I'm trying to book it, and I've got like less than 2 hours to rebook that flight, and I'm going to Ireland for 4 days, and I need to rebook my flight." He's come over and moved my jacket like he owns me and all that. He better stay in his corner. Like, honestly, you know, like, and this guy, this guy woman, when I went out, his makeup were all like mashed up because he was pulling his hair out and all that lot. And I never once affirmed that he was a woman, and I never once, I just called him man, guy, pal, mate. That's what I said to him, and he absolutely flipped. But, you know, like, the other thing that I would have done, that I could have done, is just knocked him right out for even coming over and touching me. You know what I mean? And he didn't get me attention or say anything. He just walked over while I've got my head in my phone trying to rebook my flight. And if anyone knows about the booking on EasyJet, and you've got to be careful, you've got to make sure everything's right and all that lot. And I just wanted to rebook the flight. And he come over and just moved my jacket. I just wanted to see what you were wearing. And I just flipped at him, honestly. And I'm never going to affirm and say that a man is a woman when he's a man. I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to. You can be like that if you want, but you cannot force me to affirm that you're a woman. I'm just not going to do it. I've nothing against no one's had an issue with LG, lesbian, gay, bisexual in my era as we're growing up. No one had that issue.
No, they didn't.
No issue with the TQ, whatever comes on the end, and I'm just not having it. You know what I mean? And you know, that doesn't mean that because I'm not LGBT that I won't go to the LGBT areas. In Leeds, me and Arlene spent loads of time in the LGBT area in some of the bars. Done it in Oldham. Down in Manchester on Canal Street, I've gone there and all that, but nobody is going to force me to say that you're a woman when you're a man. I'm just not going to do it. And even in the council, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? It's, you know, I don't know.
It wouldn't be so bad if some of them were pretty, but like.
Oh, I know. Some of them are ugly. And I thought I was ugly, but they're fucking worse.
Right, I'll be back in a sec. I'm just going to top.
He's just going to top himself.
That sounded wrong, then.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
There's a lot on YouTube. I've noticed. You know, sort of you watching it, you're like, that's a bloke, and it's like, you know, some of them have started to get the higher voices, or they're putting on the higher voice like that, you know. And it's but the way I kind of know that they're men as well is not just how they look and how they're acting, is because their hobby is like fixing electronics and Commodore 64 computers and bloody, you know, it's not the sort of general kind of hobbies that women have. So they stand out a bloody mile. And but there's quite a few of them trying to sort of like see whether anybody notices, I suppose, on YouTube. There's getting quite a few of them.
Oh, there's been loads, haven't there? I think we watched that Gincher or something, guys, a black dude, and some of the things that he puts on, and it's just like, oh dear. Some of it's bloody disturbing, I tell you. And you're just looking.
The thing is,
like,
I feel sorry for these people because I genuinely feel that they fucked their lives up. If they've cut their genitals off, then they're never going to be having the same sort of pleasure and quality of life. Because I mean, taking those drugs, it fucks you up.
Yep.
And the surgery fucks you up. And you open yourself up to all sorts of additional problems that you're going to get. And I think that people should just really think seriously about what they're going to do with that stuff, because I mean, you're actually going to degrade your quality of life to a certain degree.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm not saying don't do it. If you want to do it, you go and do it. But I mean, you'll have to put up with the consequences of what comes after, because it's not going to be pretty.
Definitely. And half of them don't look bloody pretty. So, enough bloody well said. Oh,
yeah.
My God. Some of them.
That's the one. Yeah. Like Fran Blanche. Yeah. That's one.
Oh, yeah. Dear. It's your birthday this Sunday, isn't it?
Might be. Yeah. Actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
My birthday last week.
See?
Oh, happy birthday.
59.
Bloody hell, man. That has gone so fucking quick, that. You being 59. It'd be on something like rum and coke or Bacardi and coke or something.
Brandy and coke. Brandy and coke.
Oh, brandy. Ugh. Oh, dear. See, there you go, Dave. That's what he's on. Oh, my God.
It's my monthly treat.
I haven't had a drink in a long time.
I know. I was surprised to see you having a beer. It's like, whoa, what's going on?
Not tonight. I haven't. Yeah, I haven't had one tonight. That's water.
It's like, all right. Yeah, I was going to say, because oh, mine's your gallstones, isn't it? Giving you jip. So that doesn't help.
Yeah, it just increases the pain, with that. So I just stick into the water.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Definitely not blame you. Now, have you run out of steam now, John? That was a very long rant.
Don't your policy state you don't recognise trans? Yeah, we don't in our and our party policies. We don't recognise it because it's just you can't be. There's no such thing. It's just an ideological, imaginary thing made up. And so what we're doing, we're feminizing men, and we're taking the role that they was brought up with, and we're taking it away from them. So men don't know now, and a man might be a normal man, but he's more violent because he's not got the role in society. He doesn't understand his role, because from a young age now they said that it's no good to have toxic masculinity. You know what I mean? You can't be the defender of the family and all that. Now, men won't defend the families. And then shit happens with the girls and men won't do nothing. And that's what's happening to our society. And you can statistically look how things are. You can look at how things were in England. And when there was a violent issue between a man and a woman, it was normally very family orientated. But now, women are killed in the street indiscriminately by other men. You know what I mean? And a lot of them are foreigners. You won't get the lefties won't say it. They'll say men are all the problem. But if you said, what about immigrant men? No. Men are
no more.
And even though we have, like Matt said, we have people who come over here who don't respect women like we're supposed to and stuff like that.
Yes, it. Thank you.
Eleanor on a trike has come and gone, I think. Didn't like the conversation.
Yeah, she left.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I stand by what I'm saying because John didn't hear. I think that people who have sex changes end up with all sorts of fucking problems,
Mm.
Yep.
um,
Heard about that.
it really fucks people up,
It does.
and a lot of people are really sorry they've done it in the end. It's kind of like you end up with, you're not a full woman, and you're not a man anymore. So it's like you're kind of halfway house, and you get these health problems from taking the drugs. It's a nightmare. And I think people should really think seriously before doing it. But if they want to do it, then you go and do it. But if you self-inflict damage on yourself, then you can't go complaining so much after that fact, then, because you've chosen to do that. Yeah. So I think it definitely shouldn't be pushed onto children, and it shouldn't be pushed in schools. As absolutely not. This concept of man and woman isn't important. You can be something in between. Well, this concept of gender fluid is complete bollocks, because you can't be a man and a woman. Unless you're a hermaphrodite. Then there is no such thing as a man and woman. Both. You can't be that.
Some of the things he said, or some of the thing, and I've had people say this to me. Said like trans have been around for ages. The Roman soldiers always wore skirts, but they just don't understand why they wore skirts. It's nothing to do with them wanting to be women or anything like that. But obviously, a lot of you would have seen the Baby Preston thing in the news. So let's talk about that. So.
I think the thing that's in the news is what they're trying to do with bloody social media. They're doing all these restrictions.
Yeah.
They also what they're doing on YouTube. They think that BBC and ITV and Channel 4 and all that should be by priority, and everybody, all these YouTubers, should be all pushed aside now. And this is in the UK, and it's like we don't want to see all that shit, because we're all avoiding paying the BBC, because all the stuff that comes out of their mouth is crap. So what they're trying to do, because everybody's gone to YouTube and elsewhere, they're going to try and force you to fucking try and bollocks.
Yeah, watch that rubbish. So Baby Preston case, you would have heard about that. So
yeah,
it was took off his mum. It was given to some foster carers for temporary. Then he was given to two gay guys, and one of them were a teacher, and then they killed him. And
yes,
when you look into it, they got the permission to get that child dead quick. I just don't understand it. And then when you read about it, when the police were interviewing him, the police said that these guys were so arrogant, they were lying, they were denying everything. So who vetted these two men? Who vetted them? And why did they get chance to foster? Because they tick boxes. They tick boxes because we're an LGBT couple, and they tick boxes because we're a teacher. And that's how Baby Preston got given to him, and then they murdered him. You know what I mean? And we've had a protest in Oldham. There's one on 25th of July. And if you want to listen to some of the people who speak there, one of them's Dorothy Lord. She's a whistleblower who got failed for protecting the under fives at a preschool. She'd been a preschool teacher for 25 years of an exemplary record, and when she tried to tell people that were breaking the rules in the school, she got ostracized from the society. There's grown men that threaten her in the street, and other parents threaten her in the street over this case that she's involved in. Now, she doesn't always tell me this because she knows what I'm like. I'll go and find the person and confront them. That's what I'm like, especially when they pick on little Dorothy. So Dorothy speaks for the under fives, and just the way she's been treated for speaking up about procedures in a school not being met. So what they call this is let me just get the word up. It's called permissive
culture.
Yeah, permissive. which means that people aren't held to account and you get away with things. That's what it means in the end. So we're in a permissive culture. We have a permissive council. We have a permissive social services and stuff like that. And, you know, that's what it is. Nobody wants to accept responsibility. But as soon as you don't pay your council tax,
Oh, God, yeah.
as soon as you don't pay your payments for your car or your mortgage, you're getting a letter. But when they fail kids and kids die at school, no one's held accountable. And what's happened with this child sexual exploitation, we keep having inquiries. And what that ends up with is no one getting accountable for anything. They just said, oh, there's lessons that we need to be learned here. But there's no police officer been arrested or convicted. There's no social service worker been arrested or convicted. I couldn't be I couldn't work in a care home or a young people's home. Why? Because Victoria Agolia was reported missing 150 times from a care home, and people were just coming up in taxis, picking them up. I'd have gone out, smashed a taxi up, dragged the guy out, beat him to shit, but the people in the care home wouldn't do that because they know that it upsets the minority community. So I could never work in a children's care home because we got picked up in a taxi without any like authority or anything. I'd go out, smash the taxi up, burn it down, get the guy out, give him a bloody nose, then phone police. But the care workers are not going to do that because a lot of them are left-leaning and a lot of them have been pressured. They know that they'll lose a job, this, that, and the other. I'm happy to lose my job. I'm happy to lose my position if I protect somebody in the street. I'm the man. I'm the masculine man who does that job. I protect the family. I protect other people. I've protected people in the street many a times. I've gone over. I've gone in a kebab shop. I've seen the kebab guys talking to this young girl who were in kebab shop. I walked in and what the fuck are you two talking to her like that for? They weren't saying anything out extraordinary, but they weren't talking about work. And I looked at the girl, said, don't I know you? Do you live on St. Mary's? Fucking get home now before I drag you home. And then the next day I went round telling the parents where I'd seen her. You know what I mean? That's me. I'll protect the people, but we don't have that kind of thing now because people won't protect them because they're too afraid to be called the R word. They're dumbed down. They're in a permissive environment where no one's held to account and stuff, and they get away with it. But Victoria Agolia got reported missing 150 times in 12 months or 18 months from a care home. The police knew that over 100 men were abusing her. They knew all about these men. They were drug dealers and all that. In the end, one man got convicted of giving her heroin, and that's how she died. And, you know, like, you can Google it up. Victoria Agolia. Please Google it up. If you know Maggie Oliver, she talks about her all the time, but that's what happened to her. Now, if I worked in that care home, she wouldn't have gone missing 150 times. The first time a taxi would have come out to pick her up, I would have gone out, burned the taxi down to the ground, smashed it up with my bare hands, dragged the guy out, give him a bloody nose and phone police. That's what I would have done. I won't give a shit if he was related to drug dealers or anything. If they wanted to come around, they would get the same kind of treatment. But that's what I would have done. So, but they don't want people like that looking after our children. They don't want masculine men looking after our children. They don't, because it's too much trouble for them. They don't want to upset the minority community. This and it. It's just so bad. It's just so bad. Permissive. That's a new word I use. Permissive.
So I'm just sat here eating a salad, so.
Well, this country needs a big bloody reset.
It
And we need some buckling up on ideas and all this stuff. You know, we should have an charter for freedom of speech as well, because that's gone down the bloody tubes. You know, since you're not allowed to say what you think. You know. And it might, you get people sort of like saying, oh, I'm offended by that. I'm offended by it, and getting like 3 years in jail, and bloody pedophiles are getting like, released on bloody license.
Yeah, it's bollocks, that is. Really is. Oh, the Farage saga. Yeah, I know. He's quit, and then so they can't bloody do anything about his assets or that money that he's got.
Yeah, well, I don't know too much about it, but the thing is, he got this money given to him before he was an MP anyway. So what's the bloody fuss about?
Ah, right.
And like let's just get it. Former Labour Welsh First Minister. So like yeah, so it's called Vaughan Getting, an immigrant. He got a donation, 200k donation off a two-time convicted environmental boss. Two-time convicted environmental boss. Search it up, Vaughan Getting. And he got a £200,000 donation off this guy. And when everyone said got to give it back, he never did. And the person he got it off was a two-time convicted environmental boss. So, you know, like digging up our land and fucking polluting our land and all that lot. And he's still, he's not the first minister, but he's still in politics, guys. Yet they're going on about Farage, who got given 5 million before he was an MP. You know what I mean? He doesn't get any. I hate Farage, I do. Can't stand the guy. But I'm all for the rights of people, and he doesn't get any rights. He's demonized more than anyone else in history. That 5 million he got before he was an MP, so it's nobody's.
He's got fuck all to do with them, in other words.
Yeah. And what about all the rest of the so he's one MP, and they're all going on about him. There's 649 other MPs. Geffing is one of them. He was a first minister. He got 200k thing, and he's still a politician. Now, if Farage had got £200,000 off a two-time convicted environmental polluter, don't you think that would be major news all over Pip? Vaughan Getting is still a politician. He's not first minister, still a politician. Obviously, he's a black guy. He gets a free pass because he's an ethnic minority and he's got a foreign-sounding name. They don't want to look bad on them kind of people. And I said this, and I think Matt might will they're bringing in a law now. Well, the laws have changed. That they've got to look at ethnic minorities a bit different when they're in court, and they don't get as much pressure on them as a general white guy or the general British citizen does. You know what I mean? And you know, I've studied a lot of things, and like this is one of them. And we had what was that veteran MP in Oldham? Michael Meacher. And if you Google up Michael Meacher's houses, now he was an MP in Oldham, always shouting out about like people, how poverty people had. He had a massive portfolio with like dozens of houses that he was renting out, making shitloads of money. You know what I mean? On the side, no one said anything about that. That's not in mainstream media. While he was in Oldham shouting out for poverty for people who were in his constituency, and he's got dozens of houses earning hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pounds. The scumbags, all of them. The scum. Honestly, make me prime minister tomorrow, guys, and I'd sort this country out in the next 2 years. I promise you, I would do. I will. I'll sort it out in 2 years if you get me prime minister tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I have got a claim to fame. If Andy Burnham becomes prime minister, I've had 3 meetings with Andy Burnham, 2 online and 1 face-to-face. Obviously, I'm an activist. Obviously, he would have known what kind of stuff I went into and all that lot. I met him 3 times before he was prime minister, so that's my claim to fame. There you go.
Oh, he's an idiot as well, so, you know.
Big John's claim to fame there.
But no, I'm just saying Andy Burnham's a muppet as well, so you know, it's got help.
Let me tell you. So, my friend Bernie, her house fell down in the Abbey area. There was a sinkhole. And,
Abbey, I know that area.
And I've got a video of her house going. She lost everything, and she owned her own house. Now, by the end of the night, the council made a statement, and the other MPs, Fazal Khan's one of them, and another councillors. Oh, we've housed everyone. They housed the council residents, but the homeowners were still in the drop-in centre at the top of the street. So this went on for a few weeks. So I said to her, why don't we go to the mayor's question time? We'll get Andy and bring it up to him. And so Bernie, at this point, when I said this to her, she'd not been out of her house. She's high anxiety. She's got PTSD. And when I tell you about this is what happened. She got told to come out of her house, and when she went to the front door, the sill had dropped, so she couldn't open the front door. This is how quick her house went down. This was a day after the sinkhole. So she'd got the keys, gone to the back door, got out the back door, gone round the front. Then next minute, all her house has collapsed around her. So that's what happened to Bernie. So I said to her, let's get to mayor's question time. Oh, John, I can't go. Well, I'll get you. I'll come down and pick you up. I'll get my mate to drive me. So I got my mate that night. 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. We went down to Abbey, picked her up in car, brought her up to Trafford. Then we went to the mayor's question time. My mate waited outside for us while we were in the mayor's question time. We were in for 3 hours. I got my hand up. Then we got talking to Andy. Then we ended up having 3 meetings with him. And so that's what I did for my friend Bernie. Now, she didn't, it was facilitating the meeting. So the first meeting was an online meeting. So I got the link, I clicked on it, I come on, and in the meeting was the chief executive of Manchester Council, Steve, whatever his name is. First thing he said to me, this is what he said to me, this is what he said to me. He said, oh, Mr. Lawrence, how come you're here? You don't live in Abbey here. You're nothing to do with the house collapsing. I said, I'm here because my mate suffers from PTSD, high anxiety. She lost all her possessions. She would never have got to the question time if it weren't for me. And he just shut up then. And we ended up having 3 meetings with Andy Burnham with this. And I never went on the meeting. I never went on and saying, oh, Andy Burnham, you're a wanker. I never went on like that. I was there just to support my friend Bernie. Which I did, and this is like what I've been up against. So like Andy Burnham knows who John Lawrence is, and he's going to be Prime Minister. So I'm hoping that when he does become Prime Minister, I can catch up with him one day. You know what I mean, and that interview him or something like that. And I don't think he'll say no, but like nobody else will touch me with a barge pole. No media will come near me. Nobody will come near me because I don't show the narrative that they want to be shown. You know what I mean? And, I talk about my Jamaican ethnicity. I tell people I'm second generation Windrush. You know what I mean? And, I live in Oldham, which is a very multicultural town and has been for a long time. But I don't like the things that I said because I don't lie. I don't make things up. Like I went to that interview with a high narrative, they're Muslims, and they said, oh, how comes a high number of people going to prevent? Because you let extreme people talk in mosque, and I had to show them the article. And they did put a couple of things up that were edited, but they never put the full things up that I said in that meeting. And next time they get in contact me, I'm going to tell them that. So how come you didn't put all my things up that I said? Because it doesn't fit your narrative. That's what I said. So, and when I showed them about these preachers who come here, and I said, don't you think that white people are going to have a problem with that? That's what I said to them. And the woman just looked at me and she went, yeah. You know what I mean? They are. But these people didn't even know about this particular incident. And I said, Al Fazal Khan, MP in Denton and Gorton, he was one who got these people over here, and an Oldham councillor called whatever his name is, he was one. So like they should be like councillors or MPs. That's what I said to them. Honestly, I was brutal, but they just won't. They'll never interview me because I just don't show the narrative that they want to be seen on mainstream media. They'll never have me on. They'll never. I'll never get on any media thing because I'm just the very person that they don't want on. You know what I mean? And I don't make things up. I don't say things like, oh, the Quran says this. I tell them factual things, and I show them articles that in the papers and stuff like that. They can say they're bullshit, but they're not bullshit when everyone reads them. You know what I mean? And I said that a few times. I said, don't you think white people would be angry when you let extreme people in preaching in mosque who were banned in Pakistan? And the woman just looked at me and she went, yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I said, that's why there's a lot of people in Oldham been sent to prevent. But right, I'm going for a top up.
Bloody hell. That's going through him like water, that. So you're going out for your birthday then, Matt?
I hadn't really thought about it, to be honest. I think Brady and Mel are coming down on Saturday, so we're going to go and do some exploring. And
cool.
yeah, that might be why my mate Steve rang me today and said, "What am I doing on Sunday?"
Ah, there you go.
Makes sense now, yeah.
Yes, it does. It does. It just proves how quick it goes. Another bloody day down. Oh dear.
Well,
Right.
I'm going to head off at 11 o'clock.
Yes, I'm not going to be on all bloody night because one, it's just, mind you, it's actually cooled down. I've cooled it down in here, so I'm all right now.
How old am I? 54 or 55? I can't remember now. 1971.
Yeah, you're a year older than me, so you will
55.
be 55. Yeah, because I'm 54 later on this year.
Thanks, Sean. Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Yeah, well, he's very evocative issues, and yeah, I think too much police time is spent on stupid things, like little things, and they should be spent on bigger things, like catching big criminals.
Yep.
Not sort of worrying about who's upset somebody by saying something. You know what I mean? They said something and it offended me. Oh, we got to get the police out for that. Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah, Matt's going to go in a bit, John. So let him just finish off anything he wants to say before he's got to bugger off.
Nothing to say, really. I just interested in listening to John. It's nice to have somebody who's got something to say. Because I'm like, I sit here vegetating sometimes. Yeah.
Cheeky.
So, Matt, any stories from your end? Anything like spooky or anything gone on? What can you tell me? Anything?
No, not really. Just been out exploring, filming places. Got oiked off by a security guard at a mansion down in Teignmouth, or Teignmouth as it's pronounced. But yeah, it's just not really, not very much.
You'll have to. I go to Bath, Norton, St. Phillips, and there's a local pub there called the George, and that's supposed to be haunted. And what it was, hundreds of years ago, when they had the pitchfork battles, they had the Battle of Monmouth.
Yeah.
And at this George, one of the armies were there, and the young 12 people. It's supposed to be haunted. It says that all about the George and that. And the farm I go to, sort of like part of a valley, the beginning of a valley area, and it's supposed to be where they had the battle. And they've got green plaques up there, but I went down a couple of weeks ago, and they've Will, one of the guys at the camp, he's hooked up with like a ghost hunting crew, and there's a video on my YouTube about it, and they're coming again to Bath. But I mean, you should go down and investigate it. Honestly, the George Hotel, it's called. I'll see if I can find it. Whoa.
Yep. Let me see if I can find it on where it is. The George.
St. Philip, it's
Oh.
called the
Saint-
town.
St. Philip.
And I think it's not in St. Philip, the George Inn.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, the George Inn, not in St. Philip. It's supposed to be haunted. And it's like an hotel and that. But like I said, there's a lot of history around that area about this battle. So many people were hung around this George thing. And, you know, like when I go down, I have seen people in there and talk to them, and, you know, they go on that ghost hunting and stuff like that. But yeah, that's sort of like its history. But I only know that because obviously I go down Bath and I've been in the pub a few times. But it's just interesting stuff.
Yeah. Well, I might have driven past it at some point in the past. Possible. Well, I'm going to head off because I need to pop to the loo, and it seems like a good time. So I'll leave you in the capable hands of John.
Oh, thanks.
Be-
I've just been listening.
Yeah. Be kind to her, John. Now.
I'll try.
Yeah. Yeah. All right then. Well, we'll catch you all soon. Thanks very much, folks.
Yeah, thanks,
See you,
Matt.
Matt.
Thanks for coming on.
Okay, all the best. Take care.
See you
Bye
later,
bye.
Matt.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. He's still on. Oh, he's gone. I was going to say then. Yeah, well, he won't be drinking much because he's got them kidney stones, and that's why he's been on water at the moment.
All right, his kidneys are mashed up.
No, he's got kidney stones.
All right.
And alcohol makes it worse. So, yeah. It's just, yeah, not very good. Not very good at all. Tarantulas are awesome. I've never been scared of creepy crawlers. I'm just wondering where my bearded dragon's gone, unless she's gone round the corner, the little cow back.
Demonic Demon Express. I'd love to see Jack,
Explores.
but I'd run second. I'd see the spider. Mate, I totally agree with you. She put some videos up sometimes. They're right creepy. Looking out. Leah's the worst, I think, for doing creepy things with her animals. You know, or insects.
It's not that bad. Bloody hell, Nat's not very agoraphobic at all. Not anymore, if she was. I've never been bothered by bugs. It's just, I don't know. Never have done. Don't know why, but there you go. I never grew up like that. None of it bothered. I've got
Yeah, I have one of my mates round, and I'm in my spare room, so they don't get vaxxed up or anything. And he sat here for an hour, and then I seen him a couple of weeks later, and he said, "I'm not sitting in your room again." I said, "Why?" While I were in there, I seen about like 50 spiders. So what? You know, they're not going to jump on. They're not tarantulas or anything. He said, but it would dead creepy.
Don't jump on you. No, they're them bloody cellar spiders. They're everywhere, the little shits. As quick as you get rid of one, there's about another 20 turn up. They're everywhere. I'll spend the night. Okay, well, there's big feet everywhere. Apparently, there's cryptids in bloody Oldham. I know there was because Simon wanted to go up, but obviously my back gives me a lot of shit. But apparently, there's been recorded cryptids that are meant to be on Dove Stones as well, right at the very tops. So I only got halfway around Dove Stones, so that was enough for me. But yet, years ago, I walked around it and walked up, and it's like, was that it? But I can't do that now. Fucking everything's fucked. Post-apocalypse England, JG's house will feature. No, I have got not. Believe me, what I've got compared to some of the people I know, it's absolutely nothing. They really are. Like Dave's saying, he's got loads. Leah, bloody hell, she's got loads of animals. So I don't know how the hell that works. You know, it's. I mean, if I put more animals in different rooms, then yeah, I probably would. But nah, I'd rather keep them just in this one room for now. So yeah, I've got my cats. They're all upstairs, but you won't see any free roaming spiders up there. No way. That they are definitely on their basically the last legs. If the cat sees them, that's it. Even Simon laughs, especially when he sees some of the cats jumping up and hitting flies. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Admit. Have you got that frog? No, I haven't. I do know about that. There is one. I don't know whether you touch it, but I know there's one that people even lick, and you get, and they're meant to be make you go a bit psychedelic sort of thing. There's all sorts of bloody weird frogs out there. Only free roaming is rabbits. Yeah, I used to, when I had rabbits, I used to let my rabbits run around as well, because rabbits are quite intelligent. I've only got 10 cats left now, Sarah. I had quite a few before. Yeah, cane toads. But there was something else. There was a certain frog that's meant to make you a bit trippy as well. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, that's bizarre. I'm gonna have to go and look for this bloody bearded dragon in a minute. Fingers, if she wants to go to bed, she'll go somewhere where it's dark. Jackie's, don't start with the rabbit jokes. I know what people's minds are in the gutter now. Oh dear. I've been watching and seeing an awful lot of things online, and I just don't like how the government's deciding they're going to try and bloody force us to watch all this crap that we're all trying to avoid, because I wasn't going to pay a TV license for channels I refused to watch. I don't want to watch mainstream TV. I think it's the biggest load of crap ever. I stopped watching it years ago, and I just like, nope, don't want to know. Got it all switched off. I'm not paying for that.
So, Jackie, can I ask, what did you do with your cat that passed away? You buried him, or?
No, he's been cremated. I've got an urn.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So he's been cremated now as Gizmo. I've not put him in the cabinet downstairs yet, but I will do. So yeah. Piss off, Mick. Bloody rampant. I see where the bearded dragon is. At the time, I even had cats. When one of the rabbits I had, she lived till well over 10 years old. She must, I don't know, 10 plus years she lived. But she wasn't originally mine. She was passed around. And eventually I'm like, no, I'm keeping her. So I did. Yeah, poor little Gizmo. I do actually miss him, because he was the only cat that he would come over, head bump you, and then roll over and want his belly rubbed. I'm like, I swear you were a dog. Used to make me laugh. What are you doing, woman? Bearded dragon's been a right numpty. Can you? First animals I ever had. Yeah, I was brought up with dogs, because my mum's always had dogs, and even when I lived at home, there was a dog. But trying to think, might have been a dog. Well, I had budgies at one point, so bloody hell. I've had budgies, chinchillas, rats, mice, gerbils, hamsters. I've had all sorts of animals. But now I'm up to, with all these creatures in here, I've got 10 snakes now. It's all that bloody Chris's fault. But yeah, I've always liked animals. I mean, when I used to go out, I used to come back with bloody frogs and toads, and my mum used to go bloody mad. What are you bringing that in the house for? And bloody hell, go out for tadpoles, sticklebacks, and all sorts. Oh, you can sometimes tell when an sex of an animal. There's always a way to find out. Definitely. Yeah, that's it. There's different different species have different things for the sexual organs, basically. I mean, we went somewhere a few weeks back, and there was an animal, and Simon could see it, the male's appendage, and it was practically dragging on the floor. Oh, John's gone. That means his internet's gone. But he'd seen it, and he was laughing because it was basically dragging on the bloody floor. And he turned around and says, "You know what? I give donkeys bloody stick, but looking at that, all I could keep hearing him was him giggling." I'm like, "What are you giggling at?" And he just says, "We can't bloody miss it." I'm like, "Right, good grief, woman." I don't know, because some of the stuff I breed myself, like the roaches I do, oh, they have something underneath, like I think it's an epidactyl fur or something like that. And females have like underneath like a little bit of a slit and like a little pouch with like bunny ears. But males, you can usually tell they're some have even color dimorphic as well. Like if there a certain color between the male and the females, you can usually tell. Or then sometimes the females are bigger than the males, and the males have really long, spindly legs, and they usually have like the front. I can't remember what it's called, the front bit, and it's got like a big. They call it like boxing gloves because it's bloody huge, and that's where they suck all the sperm up. Oh yeah, not all of them got hooks either, but the majority of them do. Male tarantulas. That's it. The pedipalps look like boxing gloves. Yeah, exactly. So it's just funny. That's it. There is various ways of telling. Like, I've got a gecko here, but he's got balls. I could see them bloody things. And it's like, yeah, that's definitely a male. It's just funny. Oh, I've got two spider crabs. One I bought and somebody gave me a spider crab. So yeah, animals, you know, I mean, there's all different ways of finding out. So yeah. Oh shit, it's a male. Oh dear. I don't know what sex mine is. I'll have to have a look at them. They are getting pretty big. Me put P Metallica. Beautiful, beautiful colours they are. Oh well, at least if she eats one, then you've got at least another one. No, they can't. That's an exaggeration, Kieran. Spider crabs can't be bigger than a car. Unless you've been watching all these weird bloody films that they used to put on the TV, and they made everything huge. Sit there like, it's not real though.
They might not be as big as a car, but they are big. Them spider crabs, aren't they?
Oh, I don't think the spider crabs. I forgot what they're called, but it's another. It might be
come from land, and they've got a breed in water, but they're not water. They're not them crabs. Are they red crabs or something?
Might be coconut crabs or something dumb like that. I don't know. Yeah, I agree, Mick. There's been quite a few of them that sucks the life out of people. So there is some bloody weird animals. Hopefully, first male paired with he was in her enclosure. Yeah, so that's it. Some of them can coexist. I mean, I did that with me. What's her name? But they didn't breed in the end. Me, with versicolor, I left him in with her, even though it's in the pair. But then the eggs failed, so I just think, right, well, it's just one of them things. It happens. You just learn to pick yourself up, and she's there. So I'll wait until I've got another male. But I've got loads of smaller versicolors, and hopefully I'll find one. Jellyfish, yeah, there's all different types of jellyfish. There's all different types. I still have versicolor babies. Bloody hell. How many babies did your female have? Because I know I took 2, but somebody wanted one. My friend at the pet shop, he had somebody that wanted one, and I said, yeah, I'll pick one up for you. But he gave me the money for it. And he says, if you need any more, then I'll just send it over to you. 2 females, over 100 babies. That's not too bad, really. No, it's really not too bad. Nobody wants me back. Oh, sorry. Somebody's having at least 5 in my Balfour, but nobody seems to be interested. So it's like that. Tough then.
The title of the biggest crab depends how you measure it. The Japanese spider crab has the longest leg.
Oh, they are huge.
To 4 meters.
Yeah, they are. They're absolutely huge. I'm sorry, but I seen one of them coming out of the ocean. I'd be running the other way. But like, yes, Kieran, I did actually say before, I do have snakes. I've got 10 of them. Got 10 snakes. So, yeah. I just need to get a better enclosure for one of them. I think, I don't know which ones I was going to go for, but I've been looking. So I'll just wait until she gets a better enclosure. She's in something big enough for now. But I'm going to keep looking until I find something decent. Venom. No, not all snakes are venomous, but I do have one snake that's semi-venomous, and that's a hognose. So my hognose is, but the rest of them aren't. She's got like, they say they've got a small amount of venom in them. What? What do you mean what? You know, hognoses have got well, it's not, can make you feel a bit poorly, but it can't be doing anything like kill you or anything like that. It's just rear fang venomous, that's the one. Yeah, that would be the hognose. And which ones you get? Was it the false water cobras? Even though they're not a cobra, they just mimic one. What type of spider would that be? I don't think I've heard of that one. What's the other one? I think it's mangrove snakes you can buy in this country. I've seen one for sale. Actually, somebody bought them in the end. So, I mean, I was looking at them at one point, but yeah, apparently they're a little bit more aggressive, but they do have a certain amount of venom, but not enough to do you any danger. You're probably, if you got bit, obviously the area is going to swell up and everything because your body's fighting against it. I know one spider. Yeah, there's some really bad spiders. I mean, well, not bad, but ones that, see, a lot of spiders have got venom because it basically, it turns their prey into liquid and they just suck it all up and all the bits of the outer shell. And the spiders just chuck it in the corner or just leave it there because that's what they use it for. Oh, there's some bloody fish. They want the fish that you get at the bottom of the ocean, Kieran. Some of them are awful looking. But then because of it's something to do with the pressure in the water, though. Because there is a weird looking fish and it just looks like somebody's just spat on it or something. That's what it looks like. It's just this horrible white blob. And it's just like, really? Yeah, that's true. There are certain ones, like they've got medically significant venom, and that's things like the P. metallica and stuff like that. Bottom feeders, yeah. I know a few people like that. Money spiders. Do you know what? Everybody calls the little tiny spiders money spiders, but they're not. It's just they say that and they say, oh, if it runs across your palm of your hand, it's good luck. It's a myth, but I don't care. I let them run across my hands anyway, so I'm not bothered. So that's normal native spiders. So when are you doing this protest elsewhere, John? Is it on Saturday or something?
Well, I do a protest on a Saturday anyway, but 25th of July they're doing a protest in Oldham. Well,
Oh,
they're
that's
gonna be in
right.
Oldham, supporting Baby Preston.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on at the moment because this Shabir Ahmed's been released. There's loads of protests all over the place, but I mean, I've got to focus this year on the election, and I've got another candidate running as well. So there's two of us in Oldham running. So we've got leaflets, and I've got to start getting them out now and going round and knocking and talking to everyone. So
Not being funny, but I've never seen any leaflets up where I am, and I'm not that far from you. Never.
Right. What you mean, like any kind of political leaflet?
Oh no, it's the normal ones that you get, but not very many. Not very many at all, believe it or not.
Well, I mean, a lot of our politicians now think they're just going to get in because they're with a particular party. You know, it's just not the thing now. They've got to get out there and be seen to be doing things. And I do things all the time, me. So that's why I'm well known.
Yeah. Well, I've not seen one of yours. I've taken one home, but that's it.
No, I haven't yet up that area because I've not got a potential candidate. If I did, I'd deliver them up there.
Oh yeah, there's always undiscovered animals, Kieran, all the time. Hi, Kirsty. So yeah, there is. There's always undiscovered animals. Something's getting discovered, something new, or there's something, you know. What? You're discovered. You're down there. The bearded dragon's giving me a weird look. She put herself to bed and then she came back out again, didn't you? I know what it is because she's seen a bloody Hissa roach run past, an escaped one. So she's looking for it because she'll probably grab it and eat it. She's very good at bloody catching them. It's not there. It's gone. It's not there.
Scientists identify an estimated 15,000 to 18,000 new species of plants, fungi, and animals every year. Of these, animals make up the vast majority, roughly 10 to 13,000. The overall rate of species discovered is actually speeding up thanks to advances in DNA and deep sea exploration because, like, they come across like a spider that they think something else, but it isn't. It's a different kind of spider, totally. And it's saying here that the Amazon is the biggest place for them. Amazon and Africa. Amazon and the African jungles are the biggest place where they find these spiders. What's left? Scientists estimate there's 8.7 million species of plants and animals on Earth, which means roughly 86% to 90% of all animal plant life is still completely unknown.
Oh, well done, Kirsty. That's good. £76 for Mark. That's great.
Well, the highest concentration of known species is located in poorly explored areas like tropical rainforests. So the Amazon, the African rainforest, they come into that. When I was in Colombia 2 years ago with my nephew, I seen a hummingbird, guys. I seen a hummingbird. I was just sat there. I never expected, and I just looked, and I seen the hummingbird, a proper hummingbird in the wild in Colombia. Then when I looked again, it had gone, and I never even got a photograph of it. But I'm really gonna. We'll be going to Colombia before the end of the year, and I'm really gonna do me animal stalking and stuff like that when I go. And like, you know, you have a hedgerow near your house, and obviously in summer you might hear a few crickets. It's deafening. It's deafening in Colombia, guys, when you walk past them hedgerows or anything that's built up. The sound coming from it is deafening. And, you know, like when I heard it that particular night, even during the day, I never went nowhere near the hedgerows or there was like plants. I never went. I went wherever I could. I was just away from the edges because it was scary. It was.
Oh dear. Oh.
Right,
You'll
I'm
have to do some videos and recordings of it.
I
That's what you
will.
gotta do.
I will this time. Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to hopefully get picture of an hummingbird or some other kind of things when I go. I'm gonna focus on that as well. I'm gonna like get a book that tells me about Colombian animals, you know, and birds and stuff, so I can try and identify them. But I do hope that I can see another hummingbird in wild.
That'd be
amazing.
really good. That
I'm
really
not
would.
an animal person, but it was amazing to see a hummingbird. And it wasn't particularly big. It might have been like the size of a large dragonfly.
It's usually about the usually about the size of your thumb, or maybe a little bit bigger. They're not that big.
No, they're not. They're not. And you know, I just looked and seen it, and then when I went to get my phone, which was on my stand, and I looked again, it had gone. But I'm the fucking. It was amazing. It was real. I'm not an animal or an insect person, but it was absolutely amazing going to a new Colombia and seeing stuff like that. I got a picture of a few birds I'd never like seen before, and that. But yeah, just totally amazing. I'm not even a animal person, but it was amazing to see a hummingbird in the wild. It was amazing. I've only ever seen them in aviaries or in whatever
zoos and all that. Yeah, or you see them on the telly.
Or the telly, but it was amazing, and I am looking forward to that again. I'm going to try and take some better, like, not just my phone. I want to take a camera and maybe a time-lapse camera or something like
Nice.
that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That. Hi, Ben. Yeah, it would be amazing to see stuff like that and to actually video the sounds as well of how deafening the sounds are. But come out here, you'll hear the birds, but sometimes, I mean, when I went dove sounds, I'm like, yes, you can actually hear native crickets. It's like, whoa, bloody hell. I don't have to go and listen to the ones at home.
Right, I'm off me, Jackie.
Okay, John.
So thank you everyone for listening to me. Sorry about ranting on and all that, but my anxiety levels are high because of all that's going on and stuff
And a
like
lot.
that. But yeah, just honestly, watch my YouTube. Got loads of little short videos on there and stuff like that. And I'm sure you'll be entertained. I'm not always serious. Sometimes I am. I do joke and have a bit of a laugh, but obviously. But thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you very much, and thanks, Jackie. And I'll
it's all right, John. Again. It's lucky I know you very well, isn't it? Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you, I was up your mum, where your mum lives.
Yeah.
I was around there the other week, and the state of them backings and all.
Yeah,
that.
Do you know what? That's something she mentioned to me. She said, because they throw stuff out of the windows round near her, and she said it was that bad. She said somebody had washed their bin out, and there were a couple of 2 or 3 dead rats that are washed down the street. It's how bad it is around them backings. Disgusting.
Yeah, I've done an email and sent it to all councillors in St Mary's and Caldas and showed them loads of pictures of rubbish, and we've been reporting rubbish up there loads. So hopefully a lot of that will go. So let your mum know that I'm on the case, yeah?
Yeah, I will do, because obviously she's getting on a bit, and she's still a miserable git.
How's her health? Is she all right?
I don't know. I've not seen her for a while. I'll have to check in with her. It's not that. When I walk into the house, it's like cutting the room with all the smoke. And then she's got the heating on as well. And in the end, I end up fucking running. I have to go out to breathe. She doesn't understand that. And I'm just like, No, I'm dying. No, it's too hot. You're killing me here.
Right, I'm off anyway. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Good night, all. Thank you very much.
Okay, see you later.
Bye, love. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, it is not good, Ben. I forgot you were in Chatterton, Ben. I forgot. You know, the back-ins are nasty. I like how they've put gating up. Do you want me to kick you out, John? If you can't do it, I'll boot you instead. Out off here. It's up to you. I think he's had problems with his internet. There you go. Let's see if I can do it. I won't ban, but I'll kick him. Because if he's having problems with his internet. Kick guest. I'm just going to kick you, John. Because I think his internet's been an ass. Yeah, I'm going to go soon myself because I've got a few things to do and I've still got all these bloody jumping spiders. I've got a load that I'll be getting sent out once it cools down a little bit. They put gates up, but they just leave them unlocked. Yeah, some do. I think they left... I don't know what it were. We had a... was it a wash machine? Yeah, we left a wash machine in the back garden. And we have a lock on the inside gate. It's just one of them sliding locks. And Simon, he turned around and said to me, "Oh, we need to go and get rid of the it soon. The washing machine." Next minute he goes outside, comes back, and he says, "Wash machine's gone." And it's like, shit. But it means that the gates, they don't always lock the gates. The bloody idiots. I mean, I've got the key for this one here, but I don't leave it unlocked. But I'll tell you what, I do get annoyed. It's when people bloody park there. It's like, okay, well, it's not my fault if I go past on my mobility scooter and I accidentally scrape your car because I've got to go that way just to get off my own street. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Mick. Well, they don't know anything about disposal of rubbish, and that's it. They should actually be told that, you know, rubbish does get picked up. That's when the bin men can be asked. Because when they picked up the bin last week, they did it the day after. And I thought, well, what's the bloody excuse then? Because it'd gone cooler again last week. So I'm like, you know, what the hell are you playing at? I just think, you know, what the hell? You know, they all get paid for this. But they're not as bloody hands-on anymore, where if they had the metal bins, they used to bloody pick them up and actually, you know, physically empty them. Oh, no. They wheel it and then they complain, "Oh, it's a little bit too heavy." And it's like, really? But like I said, they had like a curbside cleanup. They used to do all that. Stop doing it. So people have got nowhere to take the rubbish and not everybody's got a car to take it to the dump. Hang on a minute. Why are you coming back?
Well, when I left a minute ago, it said you can get a business plan free for a month, but it's gone. It's gone off. So I've logged on again. So I'm going to log off and then see if it says it again.
Bloody hell, woman.
Right. I'm off definitely this time. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Okay, see you later, John. I'll see if you actually remove yourself. Yeah, he has. Charlotte Precinct, they've had some big clothing bin, but people literally used it to dump their shit everywhere. I'm not surprised. See, we don't, I mean, fair enough, I'm in a private house now, but even when I lived on St. Mary's, they stopped doing the curbside. They had the, what the hell do they call them? The thingy bins, recycling bins, but they were always full and they didn't empty them half the time. That was annoying. But up here, yeah, we've got recycling bins, but we fill them up. Bloody stupid. It really is stupid. So, like I said, we don't have a car, so we can't take our rubbish to the tip. So that's bloody annoying. I mean, my kids did, but my daughter's moved away a little bit. And my son, he's looking after me, his wife, because she's got, you know, a lot of things going on. So he can't always run off and leave her. He does it every now and again, but he can't do it all the time. And she's ill. And his son, Riley, he's autistic as well. I don't know. I don't have any problems with him, but they do. So it's all good. I just say it's karma for the kids. Yeah, that's not good. If you mix it all up and then just leave it in the alley, then that's just yeah, no good. If there's a tip over the road, bloody hell, I'd be over there getting rid of all my crap. Good God. That's one thing I'd be doing. First, getting all my stuff, sorting it all out and taking it over to tip. I know I would. Because there's stuff that we want to get rid of, but it's bloody stupid. Nobody would refuse to do it all for free around here now. The thing is, these people won't get done for it. They'll get away with it. They always do. It's always the wrong people gets done for all this, for dumping the rubbish. But the people that do it right, if you put your bin out and somebody shoves something in the wrong bin, well, they'll get penalised for it. It's bloody wrong. Oh, that's not nice. I feel sorry for you, Dave. Not good. Not good in the slightest. Definitely not good. I mean, I talk to my neighbours, I get on with them and everything. So I don't have a problem with my neighbours. Yeah. I mean, when I used to live on St. Mary's, when I lived there way back in, when was it when I lived there? Originally in the 90s. It was a no-go area where you couldn't no Asian people could live on there. None. But then when I came back, because I moved away from Oldham and I went into Manchester and then lived near my grandma for a while. No, lived near my grandma for a while, moved into Manchester, a couple of places, then came back. And I've seen how bad it was. And it's just like, really? I think there's that was not good. Yeah, that's it now. It's a load of crap. It really is. Really is. I mean, our gate came off when we first moved here, but we put it away because it was could easily be weighed in by the people does all the iron and bloody copper, and I think it was an iron gate. I can't remember. It's quite heavy, and I put it out in the back. It's in one of the sheds. But it's a 1 in a million things that needs doing in the south. Excuse me. Yeah, it's just one of them things. I'm going to knock it on the head soon. And then go and sit with the fans on. I'm going to switch a few of these lights off too. Because the bearded dragon's put herself to bed. Because she's finished scouting for food. And I caught her the other day. She was chasing a bloody roach down. It's quite funny. Yeah, I'm not going yet. Oh, if you're going to bed, Ben, okay, night, mate. You take care. I am knocking it on the head soon, but not yet. Will be. So I've got things to do, like go to the toilet. Some reason they don't put portaloos on your computer chairs. Would be nice, but no thanks. No, not good. Yeah, like I said, when I first moved up here, because I was always on a council estate, moving here, I'm like, I'm worried. It's quiet. What's going on? This is weird. Do you have any breeding projects at the moment? No, I've got some of them. I've still got some Balfours left, and I've got some Florida jumping spiders. I know I bought a couple because obviously I like mixing the the blood groups, on different Floridas from elsewhere. I think I've got another Apache caller because my Apache callers, they all got sold. I've kept some for myself, obviously, but a lot of them have gone. So I haven't got loads because I haven't got room for it at the moment. I need to throw an awful lot of junk out, and that's the problem. I'm backed up with so much junk and no way of getting rid of it. It's annoying. Every now and again, we just throw little bits in the bin each time it gets emptied. So that's what I keep doing. Not much we can do, really. But, I mean, eventually I want to try and breed the versicolor again. But I do have the ones that I've got more than one of. A few. So, yeah. Yeah, it's about right. That's the thing. The police don't do bugger all. It's all bloody, oh, right. But if you did it, Mick, you would have been in trouble. You'd be bloody locked up and everything or getting fined. So it just says it all, really. I would have went out and bloody bopped one over the head with a bloody shovel or something. But see, that's it. There is a bit of a difference around in certain areas. I mean, there was a time that you actually regarded going to the police and you would, they would be willing to help you. And if your child was naughty, they'd give them a clip around the ear. Then you'd take the child home, the child would get another clip around the ear for the naughty. But now, don't do anything like that. So that's why a lot of teenagers, well, the younger generation, they are spoilt, nasty brats. They're awful. So many rules. Even parents are restricted from doing things. It's just awful. It's just so many rules and regulations you can't do. Sometimes I just wonder about it. Yes, they are. I mean, like I said years ago, you could rely on them. Now, don't even bother. So what's going to happen? People are going to take this upon themselves to sort it out. And that's what's going to happen. Yes, they do, Kirsty. Kids do. Some right nasty little brats about, really is. So, I mean, I've known people that have had the kids. Yeah, very, very true, Dave. I mean, I know people that have had the children bullied and all sorts. And the schools are either like, oh, bullying doesn't happen here. Or, you sure it's not just them starting it? And, oh, it's crap. It is, it's really crap. It's just, oh. See, I mean, I know my daughter's school, when there was things going on, they absolutely hated me because they bloody knew I'd go down and bloody let them know. So, see, that's it. Lots of people have had this problem. It's awful. I mean, I know my youngest daughter, she had a bullying problem, but it was my son's girlfriend that went down and threatened them instead. It was lads that were doing it from a different year at the school when she was in it. And she actually, his girlfriend went round and threatened him and says, touch her again and you got me to deal with. And they left her alone. But you shouldn't have to do that. And I know when my youngest son got bullied, I know my youngest daughter gripped the kid. And then I know my eldest son went round and told the parents, and the parents started giving him shit. It's like, really? And then my son turned around and said, no wonder he was a brat. Like, really? Yeah, I don't blame you, Mick. That's it. There's too many laws on their side. I don't blame you, Dave, especially if he's gone round, because you find an awful lot of guys that batter their women and then they get away with it. See, the law over in this country is a bloody joke. And then you hear things that have happened in other countries like America, and they have definitely got time in prison. And you're just like, why? Why can't they do it over here? But they bloody don't. They need to do stuff like that because that's what's going to happen. It is. And then, like the thing that was showing it going on in Scotland and everything, that HMO, people are going to start taking things into their own hands, and that's what's going to happen. People are not going to like it. Or MSN. Yeah, Kirsty. Bloody, I used to be in the old chat rooms a long time ago. I would have done it. Well, just take a screwdriver instead. So I'm sorry, I'm just screwing the things on my gate. It come loose. But yeah, there's just so much going on. And this is why people have got things like Ring cameras installed about something that's like Nudge. Yeah, I know what you mean, Kirsty. Loads of cameras all around outside the house and everything. Yes, that is very, very true. But that's what's going to happen, though. People are getting sick of it. People are starting to fight back. It's happening. It is happening. Just looking at this tarantula, I don't know. Oh, it's waiting for food. That's why. It's wondering. It's like it's in its enclosure. I'm just looking at it. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's just sat there. But obviously, it's a bit quieter in this room. So this is why I like coming in here in the early hours, because you see everything starts coming out. So yeah, all this stuff now, the vigilante stuff, it's going to happen. But then, like John was saying, or I think it was Matt, one of them, they're going to try and make it a police state. So it's not good. It's just like they're trying to make excuses to get more control. I don't like the idea of that at all. Definitely don't. Oh, I can't breathe out this nostril. So yeah, I'm actually going to call it. I did have loads of things on a topic to talk about, but it just went straight out the window. John started on his Polly. Thanks. Anyway, I'm going to say thank you for John. Thank you for Matt for coming on. Thank you for everybody in chat. And yeah, I do know on my video on Monday, I did do a little bit of a tribute to Mark at the beginning of my video. It was very, very quick because obviously he'd passed away the day before. So I thought, because I try and do some of my videos in advance. But anyway, I'm going to go now and make sure the bearded dragon's in bed. And anyway, hope everybody has a good night or good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. Who won the spider? I've not done it yet, Sarah, because nobody's gone for it. So I'm going to put it again. It's still on that other one, the thingy. So I'm going to put it out again and see if other people go for it. So nobody's won because you're the only one that's gone for it. So I'm going to give them another chance. If nobody does it, then it'll be your choice. And Sarah, you'll be the only one going for it. So yeah. So I'll let you know, Sarah. Anyway, everybody have a good night, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.